single cap. The Mil Diaz, right? Special edition Mil Diaz Limitada. The Mil Diaz, it's a crowned head. Mil Diaz Edition Limitada 21. There's a 22, and I'm not sure if there's a 23. It is what it is. Gentlemen, it's Friday night. Nobody cares. Our dear brother Gio sent us this. This feels like a short Robusto or a big Rothschild. It's like 4.5, I think, by 52. But when I looked on these special edition Moldias, um, one I think this was the Magicals, where it said that this one was inspired by the Cohiba Magical. Basically, from what I've read, now this is what the guy that makes these cigars, that he gets inspired by, I guess, certain Cuban blends, and he basically is trying to emulate them or dedicate them. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. You can dedicate anything to anyone. But then the other one, the other edition 21, I saw, I think, in the larger size. He said that one was inspired by Hoyo de Monterrey. So I'm kind of confused on this. I think it's an Ecuadorian wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and then Nicaraguan Peruvian in the filler and something else. But whatever. It doesn't look like a strong cigar. I had the original one years ago. And it was not a strong cigar. Um, it is what it is. It's a nice, I'd say, almost medium brown looking wrapper. It almost looks a little lighter than medium brown. So it doesn't look like an extremely dark cigar. It just looks like maybe a little darker than like a sun. Then I'm sorry, then like a Connecticut shade. It's not an extremely dark looking wrapper, but like like a light medium brown. Here's what it is. Nobody cares. I promise you. Looks like my match is dried out. Wow, so that's cool. I don't have that many left. I have to get some more. Soft, gentle heat. I can't stress it enough. So I know yesterday I said I quit the channel, and I did. My name's not Richie anymore. I now identify as middle class Sacco. Don't call me Richie. Call me middle class Sacco. That is my name. My new name is middle class Sacco. Richie, no more. Wow, we got some bad matches here. We got a bad bitch, huh? A whole bunch of floral notes off the bat. I think you would like this one, Sacco. Interesting. So apparently, this one here in this size, from what I've read, from whatever web page I saw, that this one is dedicated. Not dedicated. You can't say dedicated. What are you kissing ass? I guess you use the word copied or inspired. I don't know how you look at someone else's cigar and say, "Well, we're going to remake that." That's kind of weird. Or if you look at someone else's cigar and say, "I want to experience that," I mean, is that plagiarism? Because it's not even it's not like music where like if you copy someone's music and you just re-sing it, you're like, I love this song so much, Mamma Mia, don't let me go. And you're like, sir, this band you call Queen with 3 E's, you're getting sued for copyright infringement. Actually, you're going to federal prison for, I don't know, piracy, musical piracy. You get what I'm trying to say. So my point is, I don't know exactly how you copy a Cuban cigar with non-Cuban tobacco. And are you saying non-Cuban cigars aren't good enough, and so you want to copy them? Of course, I'm just reading too much into this, and nothing matters. The cigar is not strong off the bat at all. Nice medium strength. I did leave it out for a couple hours. The band is sliding. The band is sliding. Um, it's not bad off the bat. Uh, I can't say that it feels or tastes or looks like a Cuban Cohiba, but that's what they were trying to go for, um, which is kind of odd. You know, it is what it is. Not that heavy of a finish, not that long of a finish. 60% darkness. It feels like a little darker than a little darker than a, a little darker than a Connecticut shade cigar, and not as dark as like a Sungrow. So yeah, so if you're into very dark cigars or very strong cigars, just pass on this. Um, is this enjoyable so far? It is. Are you sure you just didn't floss your teeth? Maybe, maybe you were eating Chinese. But as they say in France, nobody cares. And we're reviewing Gio's cigar. Gio's not even here. Gio's left the dome. Gio has a girlfriend again. So when every time Gio gets some ass, he gives the show a pass. Yeah, it is what it is. No, I mean anything can happen, right? I mean, so off the bat, the cigar is not an impressive cigar. At the same time, off the bat, the cigar is not a bad cigar. Um, it just feels okay. Um, it doesn't feel like for something to be called limited edition, you're thinking like, oh shit. And I think lots of times people throw shit out there. If you're going to call it limited edition, I well, how is it better than the regular edition? Or you know what I'm saying? What is it doing that everyone else is not doing? And I think it's enjoyable. It's a refreshing cigar. It just feels a little darker and a little stronger than like a Connecticut shade. So if that means anything, maybe it'd be better for like a morning cigar. All right, just try to pick it up a little right there. Some bready sourdough notes, which is reminiscent of a lot of the classical Cuban cigars. So I'll give them that. I'm not a hater. I'm just still trying to understand what exactly was the message with the cigar. Um, and I get it if someone, let's say, enjoys. He said, "Casa be." What did he say? Casa. What is famous? I'm. I need some clarification on that. I don't know if spell check got you, brother. I need some clarification. Um, Oh, vain. I thought you meant veiny, like you're so vain. Literally, I thought like the cigar was an asshole. I thought the cigar was taking pictures of himself. I thought you meant like vain, like you're so vain. Appreciate that. Interesting. He said I tried. He said I smoked it 3 times in 3 different sizes, but I figured out the message on that cigar. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think the first time I had it, I had issues with it. It didn't work or got nothing out. I literally got nothing out of it. And then they sent me a couple more, and I think I can't recall exactly, but it wasn't like oh mind blowing. Um, I think this blend. I think Crown Head has better blends. You know, especially for something that's so took 3 years to make. I'm not trying to be a dick because I don't make cigars. I only review them. But more people smoke than make cigars, so it's kind of important process. Um, when people investing their money, and not only money, their time, because if they buy cigars now, they're kind of obligated to smoke them, or nothing worse than chucking them or giving them away. Because you're like, I hate these things. So in a way, you're kind of like a tobacco advisor. You're a consultant, and nobody cares. Um, it's not a bad cigar. It's not a great cigar. It's that middle of the road. You can enjoy it, but you're not going to brag about it. Yeah, I prefer sweet chocolate than like a bitter chocolate or like a very dry, like a cacao, where it's just no sugar in the chocolate. Uh, mm, mm. Interesting. It's not hitting you right. I really like that steak. It didn't hit you. I wonder if well, you didn't have it that long. It's not like the cigar could have aged out. But it depends on what hits you. It also depends on did you smoke that day as far as other cigars, other tobacco consumption, as far as dip or cigarettes. Everything's a factor. Everything's a factor when it comes to flavor. Everything. How tired you are, how hydrated, if you're stressed, if you're not stressed. There's so many factors to have the. Yeah, I actually like that cigar. But hey, every cigar. I was talking to the Tories about the Brazilian Cameroon having the Partagas, but I'm not sure if I heard him right. If he's not really either he doesn't like it or he likes it, but he's not sure about it. Like I'm not sure if I got that right. Um, well, sometimes you have a cigar that feels vague. You're like, what the hell is this? Is it okay? Is it better to have a vague cigar than a bad cigar? I think so, but at least a bad cigar, you throw it. You're like, I'm never buying this again. A vague cigar, you're like, maybe I should come back, or maybe I got a bad one, and you're like, what the hell is this?
I think vague is a very good description for that cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best. That's the message. I think it's vague. It's pleasant, but it's vague.
It kind of feels like, what's the point? Right now, all I'm getting is like a bready sourdough, but not even a pungent amount. Like something I'd get more like on the Bolivar, on the non-cube side. Just a little bit of cedar and just a little black pepper spice. So it's not doing anything. It's not like if it's going to be on the lighter side, which it feels on the lighter side, but it's not giving me tons of cream or sweetness and like a happy cigar. It's not being like on the darker side, pungent strength, tons of depth, character, charred. It's kind of like I think they tried too hard to make like a sleek, chill cigar. Like maybe they're trying to be the Cohiba Siglo, like because they would say they were trying to copy the Cohiba Magicos, and I never had the Cohiba Magicos, but I think people that are buying Cohiba Magicos are just going to buy Cohiba Magicos. They're not going to be like, listen, okay, you want a Corvette? Are you going to go to some guy and be like, could you make this Honda a Corvette? Oh yeah, it's going to be
It's
inspired.
Dude, it's the Honda, but it's also painted 2 different colors entirely.
Yeah, it's inspired. The whole time
Mm.
I was making this car, I was thinking of the Corvette. That's kind of like that's like if you're banging your wife, but you're thinking of your girlfriend. I was there, but I was inspired by someone else. It is what it is. I mean,
I
I mean,
think I think
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, sorry, my net's still bad. Um, when I smoked that cigar, I smoked it 3 times, and the first time
Mm.
I got that mango sticky rice, and I was like, "That's interesting," and then it sorta just got bland and washed out, which was weird. Second time, it was similar but more concentrated because I smoked it in the Corona Gorda. It was fine, and then the third time when it had a little bit of, I think it had more age on it and in a larger size, longer size rather, which is a double Robusto. It had some caramel, it kinda had some sweetness. It
But
had
no,
what
but
you're
stop, stop,
describing.
stop. Zoom out. I mean, but overall, did it blow your mind?
Well, you know what? I'll tell you one thing. The 3rd time I smoked it, I did quite like it, and the reason I liked it was a very, very pleasant cigar, and that but the thing was, it was a bit schizophrenic. Like, it's a bit vague and it's a bit confused, but it for me, it was pleasant, so I'll give it that.
For me, overall, I mean, I'm not saying this is a bad cigar, but for
Yeah.
me, I pass on this cigar. Like, I mean, you can enjoy it, but I wouldn't buy a box of this. It would be like it doesn't. I don't understand what it's trying to do. I don't understand what it's trying to, and it's not like, let's say, with the cream of purple where it's trying to do something new, but you're like, this is the new shit. You know what I'm saying? No, it, it just feels like middle of the road. It feels.
I think there were a bunch of times where I was smoking it and I started to get like, "Okay, I'm getting caramel, I'm getting some cedar, I'm getting some of the sourdough." Is it starting to, and it's starting to go in one direction, and then it would just, like, fade off and go in another direction, but it never, like, realized a flavor profile that was really.
Well, the original time I had the
Yeah.
first one, it was terrible. And then I told the guy, and he was kind of
Yeah.
dicking me at first. He's like, "So what do I talked to the owner of Crown Heads, Huber, the guy that runs Crown Heads,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, so what are you trying to say? Get free cigars?" I said, "No, I'm not trying to get a free cigar." I was just like, I said, "Don't talk to me like I'm an asshole." I said, "I paid for a cigar. I reviewed your cigar, and it didn't fucking work. I literally got nothing out of it, nothing. So you need to replace it so I can give it a fair shot. If you don't replace it, I'm never going to smoke it again, and I'll leave the review up. I'm only being honest, okay?" So then he mailed me a bunch of stuff. I didn't want a bunch of stuff. I just wanted the one fucking cigar. You know what I'm saying? No, like it's okay. Let's flip it around. You know what I'm saying? No, anything else. If you bought a car and the first day you're out there, you're like, man, there's a problem. You need to take it back to the dealership. Same thing with cigars, man. Like, and here's the thing: you already have your answer either way. If people don't stand behind it, now, if I was calling every day to get free cigars, I can understand that. But if I'm calling you up saying, "Listen, man, we had some problems with your review. Do you want to replace it so I can try it again?" Because I'm not going to buy it twice. Go fuck yourself. Because literally, that first cigar. What other business? If you went to a restaurant, can you imagine that you ordered the food and they said, "Listen, the kitchen's not working right now." All right, but you still got to pay for the food. See, in a restaurant, you pay after you enjoy it. With a cigar, you got to pay first. You know what I'm saying, though? Wouldn't that be cool if you could pay for your cigars after you enjoy it?
That'd be great.
No, it wouldn't.
I
No,
mean
no,
I
no.
mean, it's
I'll
just
explain to you why it wouldn't be.
no?
Because
Okay.
assholes will be buying shit they couldn't afford, and they smoke it, and now they're in debt to CBIT for 5 grand.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. The problem with that is I think there'd be a lack of honesty,
Honestly,
but,
no, they're
other than
gonna
that.
pay people to come collect their fucking money. You think they wouldn't have cigar collectors?
Oh,
Hey,
oh,
you
I
go.
see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You're not saying some you smoke it and then you're like, "Oh, this was a $5 cigar, I'll pay $5, or this was a $20 cigar, I'll pay $20." You're saying you gotta pay the price just after.
Whatever it is, you order the cigars, you get the cigars, you know, and you smoke them, whatever it is. Then now you got to pay. Okay, because like a restaurant, if you went to a restaurant, now it's both ways. In a restaurant, if you buy takeout, you pay before you eat it. If you buy fast food, you pay before you eat it. But if you go and sit down at a restaurant with a waiter, you eat your food, and they're hoping at the end when they give you the check, you don't run. In reality, it's a social agreement. That's all it is. In reality, you can eat free for the rest of your life because nobody gets arrested anymore for $50. But obviously, it's a bad look, and it's probably bad karma. And whatever. I don't recommend it. Committing any kind of crime, even petty larceny like that. But my point is
Sure.
this: it's a different social norm. Because if I said you have to pay for stuff, that's true, but it's not true. Cigars, though, you have to pay before you smoke it. Restaurants, you pay after you eat it. You get what I'm saying, though? So I'm saying you pay either way, but I'm saying the timing's different. And it is true in a restaurant. If you start eating your food and there's hair in it or it's not cooked right, you send it back and you don't pay. Say, I don't want this fucking shit. So why couldn't you be a quarter inch in, half inch in, and go, this thing sucks. What the fuck is this? Give me a different cigar. Stand behind your product. Well, if not, then I'll never come back here. I mean, in a way, you have a way now to buy someone for one cigar. Because if you back your product up, that person's like, all right, I respect that. If you don't back it up, now I disrespect you because I have to pay for this shit. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, you may find interesting or not, but Zeno in his book, Zeno Davidoff, said that any I don't know what the exact quote is, but basically any reputable cigar merchant, if you have a problem with your cigar,
Yeah.
just bring it back. That any
Yeah.
reputable merchant will replace it for you. So,
Well,
and he's
and you're talking
yeah,
about in Europe at a classy cigar place where they're like, "Good day, sir." If you're talking about like John Cigar Lounge, or like whatever the hell, like you're gonna go back in there like, "What the fuck do you want?" Like I don't think Americans don't like returns so much.
yeah. I mean, John Huber stands behind it. I had a similar
No, I'm
experience
talking
with the
about an
guy
actual
actually.
lounge. Now, if you're sitting
Yeah,
in the lounge, if you go home and come back the next day, you know what I'm saying? No, unless the guy knows you, but most places they'll be like, yeah, bullshit. You're just trying to get a free cigar. You know,
I
that'd be
I,
like
I
going to a
think
restaurant and going home and coming back the next day. But you know what? I took a shit this morning. I didn't like the way it smelled. I'm not paying for that steak. I want my money back.
I think it's tougher when it's one stick. I think also it probably goes better if you buy a box. You open the box, you smoke one out of the box. You say these are plugged, whatever, and then they check it and they change the box up for you. That's what I imagine, but I don't know. I don't know exactly what he meant in his time, but I agree with you. Yeah, it's mostly I think if you're in the lounge.
Yeah, I mean, there's different ways you could do it. You got to look at it this way. That there's always going to be a certain kind of expense or loss when it comes to any business, and you could decide if this person is worth investing. I think if he's a decent guy, or you don't know him, give him a benefit of doubt that he's decent. I would replace it. Now, if you're talking about a Cohiba Spectre, $150 cigar, it's a kind of a different ball game. If that guy's always in there spending thousands of dollars, you don't want to lose that guy. But a regular Joe Schmo is like, listen, I just bought this, you know, whatever, $30 Cuba Royale. I smoked it to the nub, but I'll tell you what, I felt like shit. I want another one. yeah, yeah. So, it,
It's sort of expendable. Like you can't eat a bag of Skittles and then come back like you know.
I get it.
You know what I mean? I think that
Yeah, it is what it is. Nobody cares.
Notorious said that he said that the Partagas is a good cigar, but not what he was expecting. He said with the Hemingway is better.
Yeah, look,
Notorious, how
that cigar is a very unique cigar. It's Brazilian Cameroon, and I've only had it once, and it was really different. So I think it's something you'd have to have a few times. Like, what the fuck? Brazilian Cameroon is Brazilian Cameroon. It's odd. It's Cameroon, but it's like you know what I'm saying though. But I will say this: the original Decadas I like better than the second. That's the second Decadas. I still enjoyed it, but there's so many factors, man. And the bottom line is, if a cigar doesn't hit you, like, or if you expected something and it's over here, even if it's good, you're like, wow, I really didn't think it was gonna be like that. And
yeah. I'm curious what Notorious was expecting out
well,
of
maybe
Brazilian Cameroon.
well, maybe, yeah, but this
I
cigar
think that would
looks a little dark. Yeah, yeah, because it is an odd type of Brazilian Cameroon, you think like what?
Mhm.
Because Brazilian tobacco is generally darker, right? More pungent,
Right.
kind of dark, kind of sweet, but not super strong. But it has a pungent, swampy,
I
damp feel
for
to
for for Modafina, but a Brazilian Habano can have a very, very nice crisp cleanness to it in my experience, and some sweetness.
it. Well, how many
So,
cigars are using Brazilian Habano?
I can tell you actually probably about 5,
Which ones?
and I don't I guess people can look it up, but I actually really like it. The San Latano Habano,
Okay,
the Project 40, I think uses it in the binder. The Christoph Habano is actually a Brazilian Habano.
okay.
Um, the Ave Maria, the one that comes in the little coffin, it comes in one size in the torpedo. It's called like Reconquista or something.
Yeah.
That uses I think a higher priming Brazilian Habano. I think the I think the AJ San Latano Dominicano also uses a Brazilian Habano, but I'm not sure.
Uh,
Um, I think there's one from maybe Villiger. Um,
that's a brand that's odd to
yeah,
me because I don't see them anywhere. But apparently
yeah.
they're making. I don't think they did that well in lounges. So I think they're really just trying to do internet only. Because most lounges that had them, they had a box or two, and then like it doesn't have the name yet. You know what I'm saying? No, and maybe it's just the packaging, and some of the cigars were okay, and some were like. I'm just saying though, like I think it's tough when you get into the cigar business to decide what you are, and then once you
Mhm,
decide what your price range is, how do you stack up to your competitors? You know what I'm saying though? And then how you advertise and market it is really important because of course the cigar's got to be good, but if you don't, who are you going after? Like if you're trying to seem like an expensive cigar and it's a $10 stick and you have like fancy lettering, guys that are smoking like expensive cigars are like, I'm not going to smoke this shit. You know what I'm saying though? So it's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like,
It's the same as any business though, you know?
yeah, I think you got to make that connection with the people. You know what I'm saying though? You got to make
In
the
what sense?
yeah, you got to make the connection.
In
And
what sense?
why should I fucking smoke this? What are you trying to be? Like Punch is the funny
Oh,
working class brand that
yeah,
affordable, reliable, good blends. Uh, they're not trying to be snobs. They're
mm,
anti-establishment, even though they're owned by the largest conglomerate. So, but the price
right,
point is smart. The price point is smart. So in a way, Punch is like the gift to the working class man from the conglomerate, which is fine. Which it's a nice option. My father's like guys that maybe kind of serious about cigars. They like powerful cigars. Um, you get a lot for your money, though. There's still value in my father, except you get to the 40th and the Garcia. Those are great cigars, but you're going to spend, 30
mhm,
$40. So at that point, you get into
mhm,
luxury. I'm saying, though, when we talk about value cigars in this day and age, you're talking about like the 8, 10, $12. Well, if you get, that Bijou for $10 at a lounge still sometimes, or a booth still, you're like, man, that's a lot of cigar for $10. You know what I'm saying, though? So
sure, sure.
my father, I
I
feel,
see what you're just talking about marketing, really.
but it's marketing, but also it's what you are, though. It's marketing what you are. It's not just marketing. You could say we're a serious cigar company and you make quorum cigars.
Richie, that's marketing. There is no marketing something that you're not. You could do it. Your business will fail.
Yeah,
That's not good marketing. It's like that's like saying, okay, offense, but it's like, okay, no, but offense is scoring a goal, not punching a guy in the nuts.
yeah,
And the guy's like, dude, I do what I want. Yeah, you're
yeah.
not going to be playing that game very long.
You're gonna be in jail. Yeah,
Yeah, you're
you're the
going to
nut,
be in jail and you're not going to score any points. Yeah,
you're the nut puncher. All I do is punch nuts.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, buddy, no more basketball for you. So anyway, but marketing is really about taking what is your
Let's go on the reverse side. Look how Camacho made some great cigars and fucked up their whole brand with their marketing. Their marketing on like their American Barrel Age and all those stupid bands,
right,
all literally 100 words on a cigar. What are you trying
right,
to like? What are you
dude.
trying?
Do you remember the 5 gum ads?
Hmm?
This is what it's like to chew 5 gum.
No,
No, okay, whatever. It's just they just got part of that whole craze. They just made it super hardcore, which I think is ironic because smoking an Aladino Corojo. I think that's Camacho blend, is it not?
But in that case, I'm not. I didn't say Camacho made some bad blends. I'm just saying that the branding, the marketing of what they were. If you look at Aladino, it's a fucking letter A. There you go, A,
Right.
first letter. No Alpha, the best. A, A is the best grade you can get. Real simple. Then Camacho was like, uh, what did they have? What was it called for their type of rolling?
Pow- oh,
Power.
power band.
Power
Yeah.
band. I only said power band. It's got a picture of a fucking V8 engine, and then it's got described. Our unique bunching high tech process leads to a better ignition. Where 3 out of 4 dentists agree. You say, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you know what I'm talking about. And then it would say it on the other side, but
Oh
sideways and
yeah.
this ways and that. I've never seen a cigar you have to do this and this to read it. Like, what the fuck? You're going to drop the cigar. You know what I'm saying, though? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like drinking straight
It,
gasoline, dude. It's like drinking straight gasoline and swallowing the
well, I
match.
don't know. I don't know what you're saying, and that's probably not legal. But um, don't drink gasoline. I can't advertise that. But what I'm trying to say,
I'm saying no.
three
Yeah.
out
Okay.
of dentists recommend you not drinking gasoline.
I'm just saying, like Camacho's like, yeah, it's like putting a V8 engine on roller skates. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Well, and know what it
Yeah.
was? Problem. Camacho actually made some great cigars, but the people that own Camacho is Davidoff, and Davidoff knows rich people like the back of their fucking hand. You look at the branding on Davidoff, classy as a
Yeah.
mother. But what
Perfect.
does Davidoff not know about? Middle class people. So Davidoff was like, because Camacho was owned by Davidoff. Davidoff's like, well, what are people drinking Bud Light and bowling? What are they like? A lot of words. Just put a lot of crazy words, and not even in straight lines, because they can't draw in straight lines. Write some words this way, write some words this way, and then back to this way, because they're stupid. Because they drink Budweiser. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can just picture guys smoking like fucking, you know, David Royale's like, oh yeah, middle class people, and it's literally, it's like, I feel like Camacho was good cigars, but the way they banded them was mocking middle class. Like, even like their classic line, they're like, how about a big fucking scorpion? You want a red scorpion, a yellow scorpion? How about a green? We got a blue scorpion. We got a black scorpion. We don't have a pink scorpion yet, but maybe. You know what I'm saying? You're like, is that what it is? Do you
Well,
want?
this one's the red one. Half the cigar is red.
Yeah,
This one's the blue one.
yeah,
Half the cigar is
yeah,
blue. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
What's next? Cockroach. This is the blue cockroach cigar. This is the red cockroach cigar. Like,
No,
nobody.
no, Richie, they made it so clear for the stupid middle class, dude.
But
You know
what
what
I'm
I mean? It's like,
isn't a scorpion still an insect?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
not. Right? It's an insect, right? Right. It is an insect, like a spider or a fly or a bee. Right? It's an insect, right?
I'm embarrassed to say I really don't know off the
I'm
top of my
pretty sure
head.
it's an insect. Like, it doesn't have
I
skin.
think so.
Doesn't have skin and fur and yeah, right, right.
Right.
My
Yeah, yeah.
point,
But is it arachnid an
but no,
insect?
no.
But is it
Let
an
me
arachnid?
finish my
Because an
fucking.
arachnid has 8 legs.
Let me finish my
Okay.
fucking point.
Sorry, go.
Whatever it is, it's a creepy fucking venomous insect, right? Whatever the fuck, right? Is that what you want to think about when you're smoking a cigar? You might as well call a cigar, a beetle. Oh, it's got beetle eggs in here, and you think, oh, I don't want to think about that. You know what I'm saying? No, or like, why don't you put hecho? You said hecho mano. Well, how do you say it in Spanish? Made by dirty hands. Like, our employees don't wash their hands. You know what I'm saying? No,
Yeah.
and we always take a shit break before we roll our cigars, and then we don't wash our hands. Like, made by diarrhea hands. Because you're middle class.
I think they were trying to make it look hardcore. It's just you're right. I mean, they made it. It's like the fast casual restaurant. So it's like
It's
the
like the guy
corporate branding.
and trying to go to the fucking biker bar and try to, like, fit in. Like, yeah, I'm tough too. You know what I'm saying? You're like, no, dude, like, get back on the yacht. Like,
Thank you, Notorious.
this is
Yeah.
like Hell Angels hanging out here. You know what I'm saying? Though, like, you got to kind of stay in your whatever you're in. Nobody can be in every lane. Like, if you're hanging around bikers, you're gonna act and live like bikers, and I respect that. If you're in a yacht club, well, you can't act like bikers over there. But you know what I'm saying? Though, it's like, so Davidoff had the top shelf, luxury. They had luxury under wrap. They had the cigars under wrap, but branding to the middle class with Camacho, because people that were smoking Davidoff don't give a shit about Camacho. If you're a rich guy
Mm.
and you're buying high end Davidoffs, you're not going, but you know what I need? A value brand Davidoff made in Honduras called Camacho. They go, no. Even at best, the most forgotten brand of all time is Avo. Nobody gives a fuck about Avo. I'm not even saying it's not they're bad, but it's the most misbranded. It's like Davidoff's is the luxury brand, and Camacho's for the middle class. And Avo, what is Avo then? It's not as luxurious as
I
Davidoff.
feel like yeah, it's for the middle class who doesn't think they're hardcore. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, they're for liberals. They're for liberal middle class. They're for anti-gun middle class. You don't
Yeah,
got a
it's
lot of
for
money,
the
so
arts
you're
group. Yeah.
not a biker. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, actually, Avo was originally, I think, founded by a musician. So
Yeah,
maybe that's it. Maybe it's like the more liberal arts side of.
yeah, exactly. And I'm not
Yeah.
shitting Avo. I'm just saying like that brand is totally misbranded. I never see them in shops anymore. Nobody gives a fuck about them. Like, when's the last time you smoked an Avo? When's the last time you gave a shit about Avo?
Richie, I could tell you, I've never smoked. Actually, you know what? No, I've never smoked an Avo, not even one.
And that's all I'm saying. So I'm not even trying to shit on the brand. I'm just saying like, you got to know what you're doing. Like, so when you're which David, I guess is will be conglomerate in a sense. When you're gonna have more than one brand and across different tiers, you don't want to compete against yourself because if you have middle class cigars, Camacho, and then higher end luxury, you don't want almost luxury because if people that smoke your Camacho are gonna go, but today I'm gonna smoke a luxury. If it's your birthday, you're gonna go to Avo, or you're gonna go to Davidoff. You know what I'm saying though? So
Sure.
yeah, so I don't understand what they were trying to do with Avo. And it wasn't like they were so magical cigars. Most of them were kind of boring, I'll be honest. You know,
I'd
most of
I'd
them,
have to smoke one to tell you. I have no idea what it's. That's probably why I haven't smoked it. I don't even know what
well,
it means.
most of them were fucking boring. There was a few that were a little more pungent. They were pretty good, but it was still forgettable. Like I'm not coming back. I, I don't. You could just pick. You could tell you right now. You could pass on that whole brand, and you would be missing nothing. You'd be missing nothing.
Have you smoked the Griffins?
No,
That's another Davidoff made. I feel like in the Avo type category. It's a
yeah,
it's a such a what do you say?
very light cigar, right?
Very light cigar, in my experience, so bad. Like much worse than a 3 by 3. I don't know. I just don't get it. So
Did you hear what I was not smoking that cigar? Joshua said,
yeah.
"I'm breaking up with Taco Bell. I was like 2 feet from the bathroom. Good luck, Joshua." He's tearing up the toilet. He's tearing it up. Hey, dream life's in Florida. Uh, uh, it is what it is. Yeah, Richie's clapping cheeks. It's none of your fucking business, okay? Um, it is what it is, all right? It is what it is. I don't even know why I'm here. I hate this place. I said yesterday I was never going to come back, but know what happened? The missus went to bed like at 8 o'clock, and I was sitting there and I was polishing my cig, whatever. Just I wipe them down almost every night just to make them look perfect. And I'm like, oh, no corrosion here. Got a nice thin film, clean and protected and nice. And then I was like, I look at the clock, it's still like 8:05. I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Like, it's nothing. Like I have this is what it is. I don't drink anymore. I don't party. I don't go out whoring. So like 8 o'clock, I'm like, I got nothing going on. I mean, this is the way you coast though to your retirement and then I guess die in a nursing home where I kind of got all my life figured out. I'm very stable as far as income and as far as I guess where I should be. I mean, you can always improve, but I'm saying I'm in a place where I'm just content in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Though, like I don't need to figure out anything. I just got to keep on doing what I'm doing and not make stupid decisions, and I'll be fine. But that's also a boring place to be in, though. And I'm still young enough to be like, yeah, but when I was 30, though, and you're like, yeah, you're 40 now, though. And you're like, and so you know what I'm saying? Though, like, it's just an odd place.
I don't think 40 is that old.
No, I'm not saying it's old,
Yeah.
but I can't be going out to nightclubs when I'm 40 years old. You know what I'm saying, though? What am I doing?
Yeah, but nightclubs is not the only thing to be doing. Um,
Okay.
I, I mean, for one,
Osaka's
oh
talking
man,
right now. He said apple over purple. Hold on.
I didn't realize Sacco wanted to get timed out on the last ever
Yeah,
live.
I
That's
think
crazy.
Sacco, one more sacrilegious comment, Sacco, and you're gonna go to the dome. See, Sacco knows the nights he's not coming on. He just wants to get domed, you know.
Um, anyway, I think for one, man, I think it'd be pretty funny if you worked for the cigar industry because you know so much about it. Um, and you know what I mean. You know about the industry, and you also know about the cigars. So there's a million things you could be doing with that, but there's always a million things you could be doing with anything. I think you just have to follow your interests and start to actualize them if you want to do that. But I think you've also poured a lot of interest into the channel and the live. So
This is a place
I,
for me to waste my fucking time. Okay, at least I don't get in trouble here. That's all it is. Don't get it twisted. I'm just here killing time because here when the live is over, I go to bed. You don't have to worry about getting into a fight. I don't have to worry about blowing too much money, because you went out partying or getting a DUI because you're drinking and driving. It's a very safe thing for me to do. It's boring. I mean, I'm not partying. I'm not living. I'm talking to a wall right now on an electronic device to people I've never met before. You know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna lie. Like, hey guys, hey Rage Gang, make sure you buy my T-shirt because I really care about you. I care about you. Remember that. Nobody cares.
dude, I still got one. I got still got a T-shirt design loaded in my mind, like the you know what I'm talking about.
I get it. Maybe this year. I don't know.
That's
Maybe
gonna be a good shirt. Anyway, but
maybe
dude,
it's
like it's funny going back to the conversation we had the other day where you're the stud, man. I was like, wow, I can't imagine being that big of a stud at 20. But like, dude, if I have unlimited time on my hands, like I'll play video games. But like over the pandemic, like I had time, I learned a lot more about coding. I learned a lot more math. Um, I learned a lot of like technical stuff on the art stuff that I do. Like, I don't know, man. There's the internet exists now, and there's unlimited amount out
there's also a danger,
there.
maybe.
You can make a sticker that says Richie approved and
Yeah,
be on ours like AJ.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not a bad
yeah,
idea.
yeah. That's it. Made by Big D. Yeah.
You could do a you should I mean, you shouldn't should, but you could do a like a top 25 or a top 10.
Hold on, Sacco. You can't just ask. We're gonna start. Dude, imagine it's a cover charge to get the dome. It's 99 cents to go to the dome, guys. I can't give a free now. You know what I'm saying? No, it's 99 cents a dome. I can't stress it enough. What am I? What am I? Chopped liver? It's 99 cents to go in the dome. I can't stress it enough. Oh, Notorious free. He
He
didn't.
made it happen. To be fair, to plead Notorious's case, he did just say Casa Cuba is better than
Oh, that's a sacrilegious sin, dude. You know what? And like Gio was talking mad shit in the private about that. He's like, "Oh, but you said that." What did I say wasn't true? I said when the El Rey Mundo come out, that was the best General cigar they ever made, and that was the best mid-tier cigar I ever had. He's like, "Oh, well, he was talking good about the Solus." I said, "Yeah, the Solus was the best LFD cigar." I never said the Solus is better than El Rey Mundo because I smoked the Solus first, and when I smoked the El Rey, I said this is better than the Solus. But still, it doesn't change the fact that the El Rey Mundo can never be an LFD cigar. So if you ask me what's the best LFD, I would still tell you the Solus. So nothing I said is not true. I'm not backtracking. If I say this is the best cigar in that company, just because I say a cigar is better, it doesn't change what that company offers.
imagine that you have to explain that to somebody.
It's like saying,
Imagine that that's not clear.
"What's the prettiest girl in your family?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, she's pretty, but this girl I met yesterday from the other block is prettier." Oh, but I thought, yeah, she's the prettiest here, but yeah, so why do I have to explain this to you? Geo frustrates me.
He could take a basic logic class, probably gain a lot from it.
Dude,
I tell
I'm puffing on
yeah.
the cigar. The cigar is unraveling now and it's going out.
Oh man. I guess Gio knows we're talking about him, and his cigar is starting to misbehave as a result.
It's hanging out, and now it's stronger. Now it feels more like a solid medium strength. It is not that strong though. It's not really that impressive. I'd give this cigar a 4.0 at best. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great, and it's not even really good. And to call itself limited edition, it's like if you live with a woman for 5 years and then you told her your cock was limited edition. She's like, I've had this for 5 years. It's okay. I've had better. You know.
I think I
And
think Crown had
the
you.
problem, people get married, and if they're not virgins, chances are both people have had better, right? It's easier for a girl to say, "Oh yeah, she's had bigger," right? Okay, maybe, right? But then the guy can say, "Yeah, well, I've had skinnier. I've had a girl with bigger tits. I've had a girl with a nicer ass. You know, I had it. You know what I'm saying though?" And so it's it is what it is.
ZZ Rod, I think you can email him in and get his address, and then you
So
just send it to the address.
he's at BT. Oh man, people fucking shit on you. That's not nice. Um, uh, my email, my email is piano piano 1983 at Gmail. Piano 1983 at Gmail. So that's it. Piano 1983 at Gmail.
These two comments just came in, Richie. Notorious says that's why you need a girl with a good head game and isn't afraid to catch a nut. Joshua says, I fingered a girl with a big vajayjay.
All right, that's it. Was this like recently or like he's like one time?
Uh,
There you go. But
yeah, I don't
but
I
wait,
don't have anything to say
the
to
thing
those. Yeah.
what are you doing that at 40 years old? Like you just finger a girl and you go home? You gotta wash your hands? That's it? That's the but she was married.
He said she was married.
But what's the context? And you have to get a hotel room just to do that? Like you don't say no, you get a hotel room just for that? You know, or like you just like in her bathroom at her house and her husband's outside the barbecue. Hey, how do you want your steak? Medium rare. Medium. Actually, no, cook them longer. Burn that shit. He said,
He's like, he did. He's, you know what I'm saying? That's all he can say.
dude, this thing keeps on going out.
Yeah.
That's really frustrating.
You know, what be messed up is if you talk about your wife and then you're like, yeah, the woman was married.
What's that? Say again?
Nah, it's not that messed up. Nah, it's not worth it. It's not worth saying. It's not worth saying. I take it back.
Oh, okay. It's like the cigars having issues, fucking like tunneling or something like that. And I'm getting to the last third here. So it is what it is.
Hmm.
Nobody cares. Well, Joshua, be careful with your fingertips. Apparently, you're using them for cigars and vagina.
Dude's really live streaming his finger life right now.
Yeah.
Live journaling.
Yeah.
Um,
Apparently, his digits. Nobody cares. This is many moons ago. He's like 3 full moons ago. It's like that was like 3 months ago.
but it was really, really big.
That's
It was really big.
oh, Sacco's losing it. That's something you just got to deal with. That if you marry a girl that's not a virgin, which is, let's be real, this day, unless you go to another country, it's not going to happen. Um, uh, unless she's Amish. Um, and then I saw this whole thing with these people that were very religious, like in Utah, like the Mormon girls. and they're all virgins when they get married, but their mothers teach them to only have backdoor sex, so that way they're still virgins. So when they still have a hymen, so when they get married, they'll still be able to prove they're virgins. So they weren't with another guy. But meanwhile, the back door's blown out. Listen, I'll take the other way around. I don't want a girl who fucking when she farts, it doesn't make any noise. You know what I'm saying? Though, like you know,
Yeah,
can you
dude.
imagine your wife? She's 25 years old and she's never had front sex, but she's been blown out like 50 times in the back. Dude, that shit doesn't go back. I mean, yeah, that in Utah because they say in their religion they have to be a virgin when they get married, but
Dude,
virgin birth canal. That's what the way they're like. Hold on, so birth canal, right? And they're like,
dude, I'm not equipped for this today, dude. I saw you smoking the Mil Diaz. I was like, oh, I want to talk about the Mil Diaz.
it's
Fuck it.
really not a good cigar. I'm not gonna lie. It,
It's not. Yeah,
at best, it's a tolerable cigar, but it's kind of a waste of time. Like, it is what it is.
yeah. You
Yeah,
send cigar to Utah, but they will get your ass blown out.
yeah, because I don't think in Utah you could order cigars online. I'm pretty sure on that,
Oh
right?
wow.
I could be wrong, but because even then, I think Utah was really strict on alcohol, right? Until recently, yeah, I think so. Utah is an odd state, man.
I guess if you're guess if you're in Utah, you either have to smuggle it in tubo because you're all blown out, or
uh, is what it is. Um, I also like to bring up that I hate this place. It's a stupid,
yeah,
and I regret making this.
bad.
I regret it.
You regret making the channel or the lives?
Everything, everything. I regret this.
Hmm. I think you seem like you're in a little bit of a better place than you were at the very beginning of the channel. The
I,
very, very beginning.
no, I'm not. I have nicer things. I have more money. I have a better job. Um, I'm in a nicer place. I don't. I only have to work 40 hours. So, yeah. So you would assume I'm in a better place. But back then, I was free. I was a man on a journey. You know,
Hmm.
doing whatever I wanted to do. Yeah, I had to work more, but I had a simpler life. And if I didn't have my daughter that weekend, come over and make her pancakes and take her out to the zoo and be a father,
Yeah.
best I could with the time I had. And trust me, if I had my kid, all the plans didn't happen. With the ladies I was seeing, or no, listen, I got my kid this weekend. I'm
Sure.
don't even call me. But in the days I didn't have my kid, I did whatever I want. You know, if you want to have two friends come on over and hang out, you can do that. That's a whole nother.
Well,
We're not going to get into that tonight, but you can figure that.
Rich, you think being able to have so many friends uh, was the thing that was making your life better, making you feel more free, or do you think it was that you were still on a journey? Because what you just expressed to me is that you feel you're sort of in a stagnant place. Basically,
It's
you've
not.
locked in, you're kind of on rails.
I think once men get into a consistent place, they get fucking bored, and that's when they have midlife crises, because men
Yeah,
are designed to be stagnant. It's like a river, flowing water. Men are a force, and once men become like, well, this is it. It's like you know what I'm saying though.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember the first job I got. Um, it sort of actually before I had the job, I thought I was pretty good at art, and I didn't think that at the time. But looking back, I was making some stuff that was kind of beyond like where my skill level should have been. It was actually like better than what it should have been. But after getting the job, I felt they kind of like they solidified all the art that I was making, and it made it very stale. And I felt terrible, like from the deepest level. And
I,
I was like 21.
whenever I volunteered, Like if I just set up my piano in the city or Main Street in a village in
Yeah.
Long Island, right, and I'm just playing. Yeah, I put on a tip jar. I didn't care, but I'd had to put on a tip jar because people would say, "Where do you want me to put the $5?" Like, so I'm telling you, people, if you're gonna play piano on the street, even because you just love doing it, as people walk by, I met so many people and girls too and whatever. So you make a lot of friends and had a cigar too, and so it was just a great time. And
Mhm.
it was just a cool thing, man. And um, but whenever I played at a restaurant or for money, I felt like a whore because it'd just be like, all right, we need you to play for a half hour, then take a break, then come back for another half hour, and take a dinner break, and then come back and but try to keep the songs in this style. Don't play too loud or whatever. You know what I'm saying? No, and then you get the drunks coming up. You know any Metallica? And you're like,
Yeah. Yeah. So I
once
think
you do something for money, you already lost your soul.
I
That's
think it's not I think it's not just doing it for money. Um, because actually the most recent job I had, I was the art director for something, and it was constantly a challenge. Like, there were other parts of the job that really wore me out, but the creative aspect was interesting to me, and I had learned enough about business. Actually, what happened after I got my first job is I went back and I decided I needed to learn basically everything about art because I realized people weren't going to tell me while I was in the job, and it was just going to push me down. So I had to learn
well,
everything,
that,
and I
you know,
learned a bunch about business.
I'm not familiar with the whole 451 art scene, so you'd have to explain that to me. So
Yeah.
holy shit,
Ma-
that bug just flew into my neck and it hurt me. Fucking, there's some big bugs out tonight.
Anyway, all I mean to say is once I had a handle on everything that goes on, I was able to be more creative about what I was doing. That made me feel less stagnant. What I'm trying to drive at is anything can make you feel stagnant, basically. And I think that when you have that moment, you're right. It's almost painful. You know what I mean?
Well, it
It's
depends on what kind of person you are and what's your outlook. You know what I'm saying? Though, if you look forward to that journey, it's not about where you're at; it's what's next. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Um, it's the same reason why. Let's say people that like sports, right? On Sunday, what are they watching? The football game. What are they not watching on Sunday? Last week's football game. Why? We want to see what's going to happen this time because it didn't
right.
happen. Where once something's in the past and done, nobody really cares. And you might relive it or talk about it here and there, but you get what I'm saying though? Like the new Super Bowl is gonna be watched more than the last Super Bowl on Super Bowl Sunday. You get what I'm saying though? Like so
Yeah,
people,
totally.
it's the same. Let's say, well, there's movies. What's new? What's this? You know what I'm saying though? That is what it is. What the
Yeah, I
fuck?
take your point. My fault, dude. I'm trying to plug my phone in. I don't want it to die. All right. Um, yeah. But what I'm trying to say, like, okay, do you think if you were the creative director or something for Punch, let's say, or General had you in charge of all the brands, um, and how to separate out the brands and what message to put, you think you would get bored of that? I don't know. I don't think so because I
Like
think you'd be
very,
interested in what you were doing.
very complex job and a very demanding job. I would enjoy that, but I wouldn't look at that as like when it comes to my personal like music, I could feel like, oh, I don't want to be contained. But if it's something like a job like that, jobs can be very fulfilling and they have their role, but that's why you don't want to do it 8 hours a day. You don't do it 24 hours a day. It has its you
Mhm.
got to balance. You're supposed to get, let's say, 8 hours available for rest and sleep, 8 hours for work, and 8 hours for some type of physical activity, your personal life, and etc. And that's supposedly the balance of life. Does it always work like that? No. But generally, you generally have three. You're generally three people: your work, your home life, and your sleep life. And sleep life is part of your life. Realistically, you sleep almost a third of your life, give or take. You know what I'm saying though? If you're out there sleeping 2 hours a night, you're gonna die. You're not gonna make it. So it is what it is.
So you think that the stagnation you feel is not in it's not in your job life. It's just that you want to move forward something in your
Oh, you right
personal,
now?
I
Oh,
guess?
no, we're just talking about in general. We're just talking about hypotheticals in life or why people have a midlife crisis or in general. I don't know. I don't know. I think lots of times whatever's going on is also how you're treated. If you have a demanding job but you enjoy the people you work with and you feel like you're being respected, you'll work hard
Mm,
and you'll tough it out. Where if you hate the people you're around and you're being disrespected and treated like shit, you're gonna hate your life even after work. People that hate their jobs hate their life even out of work because they're dreading tomorrow, and that's a bad place.
right.
Luckily, I'm not in that place anymore. I don't. I don't dread. I don't dread tomorrow. I dread this place because I don't know what else to do with this place. I don't know what else to do with this place. If I stop making videos, people are like, Richie, where's the lounge? What are you doing? And if I keep on making videos and it's the same shit, like, I don't know, how many times can I ask you, how's your balls? How many times can I tell you to stay fresh? What if the people here that are not fresh and they're not listening? Don't listen for me, but listen for yourself. You want to be fresh. You want to be fresh.
Yeah. I guess it comes down to what makes it interesting for you.
The lounge was fire. We talked about Arnold versus Stallone. Go back. The glory days. The glory. Yeah, yeah. The whole Predator Jason being deplorable for AIDS. You know what I'm saying? No, that was funny. Yeah.
Joshua says, I scrub my balls in and out of the shower. I don't even know what that means.
We can. Hold on. What did he say? No, Joshua said. He said I scrub my balls in and out of the shower. I'm not sure what do your balls not fit in the shower. Like yeah, they're like Josh, but not at the table. He's eating dinner with the. What are you doing? He's like, I got to stay fresh. Richie said to stay fresh. It's been 2 hours.
Fresh, fresh.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, Notorious. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just being pessimistic right now. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm just bored. You know.
Well, I think for a long time you were it's not that you were trying to figure something out, but I felt like at first you were trying to figure out what your format was and like what you wanted to do with it. And then it was almost like a journal. You know what I mean? It was really you kind of pouring out your own thoughts, and it felt meditative, which is what I really loved about it. Also
You're
that you
going.
had great taste.
You're going back
Yeah.
to Long Island time.
Yeah. And then yeah, with the lives, I think you were excited because I think you felt it was gonna expand the whole thing. And it did in a way. Um,
But
but
now,
yeah, I don't know.
now there's nothing else
Yeah.
like it. Now it's. Um, yeah, there's been phases, like 4 phases of this channel, and I feel like I'm at the end of this
Mhm.
phase. So what's next? I don't know. You know.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. There's a quote from Damien, I think it is, which is basically that we constantly are in a state of death and rebirth. But I'm without actually having the quote is kind of useless. I realize now. Joshua says he's in the mafia and can get a therapist so he can use this channel to vent.
It is what it is. I mean, you do what you got to do. I mean,
Okay.
whatever a man's got to do to put bread on the table is not. It is what it is. As long as you're not hurting kids or animals for no reason, like when I say animals, like if a bear's trying to kill you, yeah, but but if you're driving like past a bear in the woods and he's just like minding his business, like don't pull over.
He's doing the thing. He's scratching his back on the bark.
Yeah, you're like, hey bear, look at this Glock. He's like, come on, man, I'm not even bothering you. He's like, the fuck. He's like, just
He's all, yeah. Um,
no, there's a difference between like sustainable hunting and just being a douchebag. Like, you just like did you ever see those guys?
just
go fishing with grenades. Did you ever see that?
I think I I think I saw explosive fishing
Yeah,
once. It wasn't with grenades, but I think it was charges. But yeah,
kind of a dickhead thing, you know. What I'm saying?
yeah, definitely a dickhead thing. I mean, look, in my opinion, if you kill an animal and you don't use it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? What are you doing? I mean, obviously, if it's in self defense, but anyway,
Well, yeah, unless it's a shark. I mean, fish is not self defense. You're talking about bears or something. But like, if you're like, oh my god, that grouper was gonna, I don't know. That's it. And
the
honestly,
thing it looked at me sideways, said "blub blub blub."
yes, like that's your. What are you doing? What are you doing in the ocean? Dude.
Yeah, that dude should not be allowed in the ocean. He's fucking just
All right.
just pissing himself.
For
Yeah,
the record, what is worse? And honestly, we know the answer, but okay, what's worse, being in the ocean at night or in the woods at night by yourself? Now we have to say though, if you're in the ocean, you'd have to be in some type of craft, like a boat or something. And I'm not talking about a cruise ship level, but like a small little boat. Because if you're in the ocean, like in the ocean, you only got like a day, maybe at best, and you're going to be dead. So that's kind of like, because how long can you swim, right? You know what I'm saying? But like, if you're like, okay, what's scarier, being like on a inflatable raft, like in the middle of the ocean at night, where there's really no protection, like think about any, or being in the woods by yourself. And I'm not talking about like near a highway. I mean like it,
sure,
up in the mountains. Ain't no,
deep.
ain't nobody gonna hear you scream. Think about it both ways. Statistically, I think the ocean might be safer until someone
I
finds.
think that I think the ocean, if you're on a craft, is going to be safer,
But
but
you
I think probably
have a
more
chance.
scary.
You have a chance during the day for someone to see you. Maybe you know what I'm saying though. Where if you're in the woods and you're stuck in the woods, even during the daytime, no one's gonna see you. And if you're lost, you could have hundreds of miles of just what I'm saying though. Like
Yeah, I mean, but depending on how good you are in the woods and how good the like how
uh,
many resources are in the woods, you could survive.
but I think also the average person though, if it comes to survival, you're gonna start building some type of shelter and figure something out. Find
Right.
water and do what you got to do to I don't care if you got to dig a little to live in a hole in the ground, protect yourself, and hide. You know what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
But if you're in the ocean, there's nothing to do. You're like, well, what's start? There's nothing to build with. You can't even drink any water. Like you're unlimited. You're on borrowed time in the ocean. So yes, it's easier to be
Right.
found maybe because But I I I,
I,
I don't know.
I think you'd have to take being stranded in the woods. I think if it's going on, you'd have to take stranded in the woods. However, if it was just like a pocket of time, you know what I mean? You're just saying, okay, you're going to spend 8 hours in the middle of the night in one of these places. I think it would be safer in the ocean, but scarier in the ocean.
Like
You
you
know what
said,
I mean? Like I'd be
you're
shitting.
on borrowed time because of water. After a day, you're gonna be completely dehydrated. So
Right.
um, in the woods though, and the ocean, it's the things you can't see. But in the woods, the things you can see, like you're gonna hear animals, you're gonna hear snakes and rattling. You can be, you can have hawks and birds and you don't know in the middle of the night if that's a bunny rabbit or a deer or a raccoon or whatever or a mountain lion. You know what I'm saying? No, like anything can come out of that woods, or worst case, a Bigfoot or like a crazy white person cult, and you hear a banjo, and like they're all wearing like robes, like carrying like candles, and you're like, you know, what I'm saying? It could be there's some really weird
Yeah.
shit in the woods.
They're riding hungry bears, playing banjo, riding hungry bears. You're like,
Now, I feel like if people were living in the woods and they united with the animals, I feel like that would be less scary because like, oh, they must treat these bears nice and they get along. You know what I'm saying? No, but like like somehow they're able to tame a bear. Like that takes time. You
mm,
got to raise them from birth and and nurture them. But
that's true. Unless
if a guy was in the woods just wearing a bear pelt and like a bear skull head, you're fucked. Like what I'm saying, like, that guy killed a bear.
unless they're all playing banjos, riding the bear, and you hear them screaming, they can't learn our secret.
Yeah. Yeah, he said flesh eating
That's
bacteria in
the
the ocean gets you. Yeah, that's fucking terrible. He says I want to. He wants to what? Kill a blueberry bear.
blueberry berry. Here the meat is purple and sweet.
I don't know what's going on, Josh. I don't know what's going on with Joshua tonight. He's talking about his balls and fingering, and he wants to kill a bear. Are you drinking tonight, Joshua?
Fucking straight tripping, dude. That's a man who's tripping balls.
He's having his best life right now. Rich talking about
uh,
where my life's going right now in the shadow, and he's like, "Bro, I wash my balls in and out of the shower." Like,
then I yeah, then I go hunting for fruit creatures. Yeah. Um,
yeah, I'm done with this.
yeah.
I gotta.
Oh yeah. You gonna launch it?
I don't know where it landed, but it is what it is.
I think. Oh wait, the bear sounds.
Oh, I didn't. Blueberry bear. Oh, fuck.
The bears feast on blueberries, and it permeates their meat.
All right, this is some deep shit here, man.
Turns out, turns out you can also scrub your balls in and out of the shower. That's on us.
He's exfoliating his nuts. Hey, we haven't seen Sam in a long time, and
Hmm.
we haven't seen Jeremy in like forever.
Hmm. Yeah. That's too bad. Jeremy's a good guy.
I know. I
Um,
miss Jeremy. I think what happened to Jeremy? Does anyone know? Did Tori
I don't
heard
know.
from Jeremy? What's going on? Maybe he's having stuff on the.
He's been he's been in the private dome though. It's cool.
Yeah, but maybe he's busy
Um,
with family. You never know.
yeah, yeah. I think it's interesting. Oh, what are you smoking now?
I just go with the classic.
I think it's interesting because you smoked. You say you smoked your best cigar, right? You smoked the
Wow.
Opus
Yeah.
Dubai. You smoked two opuses or three opuses. My fault. One opus and then two at the same time. You smoked the El Rey del Mundo,
Yeah, and then the purple.
and now you've had the Cohiba. So I think it's just, and also there's been a big sort of ebb and flow with the community where it sort of grew and now it's kind of plateaued for some reason. To trade.
I don't know. I mean, things change. I mean, some of the guys here have stayed. Other guys have come and gone. You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Some guys have just come in.
everything's
Yeah.
for a season, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people have just come in, just sort of been negative, trolled a little bit, and then left. When other things came up.
But maybe that's just Geo with like his bots.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, nothing matters. It is what it is.
Well, you know what? One thing you could do.
That's what I like about classic cigars. They're reliable. Like, so I know with the Cuba Black, it's not going to be the best cigar I ever had, or even the best Maduro. But I really love this cigar. It never lets me down. It's very reliable. And I've been smoking the cigar since 2006. That's when it came out. And that's when I first smoked in 2006. At the time, I didn't know it just came out. Um, and it was what it was.
Now, is that a broadleaf with all Dominican, or is that a double broadleaf with Dominican? Do you know?
You're going to have to look. Because for some reason, I think, fuck, I'm going to fuck it up. I'm going to fuck with the blend. I'm not sure if it just uses, sometimes they have two wrappers and then a binder and filler. In that case, it's like
Mm,
categories. I don't know. I know
hmm.
it uses,
Yeah.
uses a Dominican, I'm sorry, uses a Connecticut broadleaf Maduro, and it really should classify as an Oscuro. I know it uses it twice. And then afterwards, I'm not sure. Somebody could look it up. For some reason, I think that uh, you know what I found out about the Macassar? The Macassar is using Cameroon tobacco as a binder. I didn't know that, or I forgot about it. Yeah, I think it has some Mexican plum fields. Yeah, I think he's right about that.
The
Hmm. No, Macassar is using a Connecticut hybrid Havana wrapper. But I just watched a video with the guy that made the blend, And I could be wrong about that, but I'm almost positive he said it was a Cameroon binder. Could somebody pull up the Makassar profile? You know, I here's the thing. I just watched the video with the guy Sean. You know, the guy that makes the yeah. It was a quick little 3 minute video, and I thought it was short. Yeah, but he literally said Cameroon.
You know what? I think I saw that same video, and I think I got really excited because that sounded like a good blend, and then I looked it up, and it was broadleaf.
He's talking. Joshua said that's the black. Okay, but and here's the thing too. Like, I think lots of times when we look up information, I'm telling you right now, some websites have wrong information. You know what I'm saying? Though, like literally, you could get different information. You have to almost check 3 or 4 places, and the best place would probably be the website, of the company.
Mhm.
I've seen different, like in the past, I've seen like a company say one thing, but then like Cigar Aficionado say something else, and you're like, what the fuck? Like people
Yeah.
are facts together,
So would you just say that's a classic representation of a broadleaf Maduro, or
Actually, no, it doesn't feel like it doesn't. I'm gonna tell you right now, it doesn't feel like other like a Liga Number Nine, or it doesn't feel like other like a 601 broadleaf Maduro. It doesn't feel like
Mhm.
those cigars. That's what I like about the Cohiba blends. They're very unique to themselves. Like you know what I'm saying though, like um, but it is what it is. I think I have a lot of history with this cigar. What does he say? Is a Macassar Cabano Connecticut broadleaf binder, and that's what you see.
But no, Richie, oh, let's see,
Holy shit, he's talking about some high end Fuente, and that's the weird thing. I have to watch that video again with that guy Sean Williams because I could have swore he said Cameron binder. So what, what if the blend changed over the years? That could happen too.
gave it the godlike, and the listing on the interior of the box, because I think they made the box before finalized, or vice. I don't know what happened, but the blend that's listed on the box is very different. It's Corojo and I forget what that, but it's a Corojo based blend versus a Habano.
I don't know, man. And sometimes maybe is there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an answer on that. You know, uh, I don't have an answer on that. But I'm telling you, look up the video with Sean Williams right now. It's if you type in Quavo Black and then you'll see him, and then look at all those videos. I forget. It's just him sitting in a lounge, and he talks about the black and the red dot and the Macassar. Um, and I could have swore one of them had a Cameroon binder because we know it's at the red
No,
dot. Red dot's using a Cameroon wrapper.
right. No, I think I feel with the same issue, the same typo, like the
No,
same
but here,
mistake. So I think you're right.
this has been out 20 years now. What if they change the blend? That can't happen. What if when they made
That's possible.
with it when they made this blend originally, it had a Cameroon binder and they're like, listen, uh, our Cameroon's running out. Let's focus because he literally said, I think he said, is it over half or over 2/3 of Cohiba is red dot as far as volume. So the red dot
Hmm,
is the number one
hmm.
seller. That's a that's a lot. So all their Cameroon tobacco is going to go to the red dot. You know what I'm saying though?
Hmm. I think those are great videos, by the way. I think that guy does a really good job of presenting the cigars.
Yeah, but things could change. That's also
Yeah,
the thing though. You think about a brand that's big, but their one cigar is 2/3 or half, whatever he said at the time. It
sure.
could have changed because this video is a couple years old, maybe more. So,
Hmm.
I mean, like if you picture another brand like my father, like the Bijou is not. Bijou can't be half of their catalog as far as by volume, and maybe it is, but I don't think it is. You know what I'm saying? Like if you went by volume for Padron, it'd be the 1000 series. You know, just by volume. Like though they sell so many of those cigars.
Yeah.
You know.
I wonder how much. I bet the Hemingway is another one of those that has a lot of, or and the Chateau probably both have a lot of volume.
You would think the Hemingway has a lot of volume, but at the same time, like if you all the other Fuentes, you like for example, even the high end stores in New York, they carry the whole Fuente lineup. You literally would have like maybe 10 to 20 different like mid tier Fuentes, like down to the curly head, all the way up to the Chateau, like the double Chateaus and the Connecticut double Chateaus and the Magnum Rosatos, all the way up to that point.
Yeah,
And then you get to Hemingway, yeah, they'll have a box of short story, but generally one box. So yeah, they're selling it, and it's always there. But like by volume, I don't know. I'd have to assume for Fuentes, their volume stuff is their cheaper stuff, even though everyone wants Opus X because the store gets one box and it sells in a day. So it's yeah.
I'd love to see you be the brand ambassador for like Punch and do the videos like Sean Williams did for Cohiba. You know what I mean? Have the go through each one of the blends. That'd be pretty fun.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
I hope they'll tap you for that at some point, but we'll
I
see.
don't know. It is what it is. I mean, um, and yeah, we'll be interested to see, if they come to what the guy said as far as sending stuff to
Hmm.
review for the company. I mean, I'll be interested to see how that works. You know what I'm saying? Though? I'll be interested to see though. Like anything, anything is. Let's say everything. Once you get involved with like that, anything could be business. Like I wonder if, for example, let's just say people that start receiving cigars from a company, if they give them bad reviews, do you still get the cigars? You know what I'm saying? No, or do they stop? You know, because
Yeah,
I'm always honest. You know what I'm saying? Though, so I
sure.
won't. But I wonder once people start getting free shit, does that change them to like they're not going to want to bite the hand that feeds in a sense? Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, I guess in a way you may have a little bit of a next step right there. You know what I mean, built in. I'd also be interested. Something you could do. You don't have to do it, obviously, but is and I'm not requesting this. I guess is what I mean to say, but just a brainstorm. You could do like a top 10 at the end of the year, or you and have it Richie certified, and do like I forget who just said in the comments. I think it was Josh, but have a seal of approval system for your own
I
stuff.
think we also need a seal of disapproval of cigars that are like this wasted my fucking time. Yeah.
You know what you should do? You should have a seal of disapproval and a reason, but the reason is like one word. Like it's like a thumbs down, like the Mil Diaz, thumbs down, vague.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
Or
like
another
waste my time.
rip off, gouged, or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I should have
Or
a
like or almost not black, sad.
I should have
Yeah.
top 25 cigars you shouldn't buy. That would offend a lot of people. They're not going to want to be in that list.
You should do it. You should do it, but you should keep it. I mean, not again. You shouldn't. Not you should, but you could do it. And you just if you did it, it'd be pretty funny if you kept it really like really brief. You know what I mean? Like one sentence, like just like a roast, one sentence roast, just like bam. This is why the
It's
cigar doesn't work.
going to be Forum cigars. Why? Because they suck. Oh, that's it. Bam. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right off the bat. Right off the bat. Don't waste your.
Yeah. Es- Espinosa 20th or whatever. You know what I mean? It's trying to be everything ends up being nothing. Next cigar.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that was, or like the Warhead number 8, the new one. That sucked. It was a weak cigar. That was a Warhead
What was
that
that
didn't.
really strong? What was? Yeah.
What's that?
Sorry. I was just trying to think of the one that killed you. What was the one that killed you recently?
Oh, the Espinosa.
I
Yes,
think it was Espinosa.
Murcielago. Uh,
Yeah.
um, what was it called?
De Oro,
The
maybe?
Oro. Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah.
Holy cow, bro! That one crushed me. No, that one I'd recommend, but and no one here's tried that one yet. You know what I'm saying? No, that if you remember, I held the smoke on that one because when I first held the smoke, it was like, oh shit, and I wanted to keep holding it to see if it was going to calm down because lots of times
Sure.
cigars start off strong and then they chill out and become boring. That cigar, that cigar was trying too hard, man. That thing was like, hold up. That was too much. That was too much for me. Like I wouldn't smoke that again. And I'm not knocking the cigar, but it, you don't say no. That was like a really gory movie that was like disgusting, like and you're like, oh, this is a well-made horror movie, but you're like, I can't watch it every day. Like I'm good. Like you know, what I'm saying you're like this is really over the top. It's really gratuitous. You know.
I played some games like that that are just too like it's good, but it's just too much. Or yeah, like or music can be like that. It's not bad, but it's just a lot.
Well, it's like they had that. Who was that? Did you ever hear of the horror rappers? They have hardcore horror rappers. Did you ever hear these guys?
I think I caught wind of it, but
So hardcore horror rappers, instead of rapping
I think it's kind
instead
of
of rap,
silly.
well, no, it's not. Instead of rapping about like the streets, they rap about being cannibals and like doing terrible things, and it's actually kind of really sick. And the main guy that did it, what was his name? Well, anyways, he released his new album, but like on the day he released his album where he got real famous, he ate his girlfriend, and now he's in prison for life. So like, so in his defense, he said he did some meth or PCP, and then when he woke up, um, the police were there.
He was
The
full.
police were there, and his girlfriend was dead. And when they pumped his stomach, like pieces of his girlfriend was in his stomach. And he just released a rap album about eating people, and so he kept it too real. He kept it too real.
I, I'll acknowledge it for that. That is very much keeping it to your lyrics. I don't, I don't, I don't think there's a need for that.
Yeah.
In the market. I don't, I
No.
don't think, I don't think that that's something that's been missing. But
No,
you know,
the only thing worse than like horror rappers is if like some rapper came out and he was a pedophile. Like this rapper, no one's gonna play his song. Like this rapper's not gonna make it. He's not gonna. No one's. He's not gonna make it off the streets because nobody's gonna put up with that shit. Like like the no, like oh no, that guy's not gonna make it. And I'm not even gonna dive into that. But like if one rapper came out like that, he's like, I'm trying to start a new genre, and you're like, no, bro. Like, I think all the other rappers would just team up and just like drive by and just blast this dude. Like,
yeah. If he was
I don't.
in that,
I don't.
in if he was in those circles, he wouldn't last very long. I
Yeah,
think.
no, it would no. The streets don't play with that. Not today, homie.
Yeah.
No,
You could say what you want about that type of subculture, but they don't put up with that. So,
no. And nobody does. Nobody does. Nobody's played in that game. No, no.
but I don't think anybody on earth will kill you faster. So you have to give them credit for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think they're very efficient. They're expeditious
yeah.
in dealing with that sort of thing.
Oh, in prison, if you go to prison, no matter what prison you go to, and in any category, right? Yeah, I don't care if you're with like the Aryan Brotherhood or whatever, like or the Triads. No one's gonna want that guy around. Like he's gonna be in what do you call that? Protective custody. He's gonna be PC. He's not gonna be. He's not because he's not gonna make it. Because but lots of times the guards set up. I watched a lot of stuff where like when those people come in, the guards will tell people, "Hey, you know what this guy's in for?" And the guy will get killed on his first day. Like he's not gonna make it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like yeah, like, dude, those guards, man, they set up a lot of people, man. There's a lot. I mean, in that case, it's justified. It is what it is, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like you wouldn't want to be in a prison if someone killed a cop and they went to prison. It's gonna be a bad time for you because those cops, those correction officers, people could do them a favor. They could say, hey, maybe something happens to this guy, we'll give you extra Jello today or whatever. Oh, sure, yeah, yeah, it's no problem. We'll give you an extra 5 minute phone call. All right, yes. It's amazing how like the things you take for granted are like gold. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, you
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happened to Sacco tonight.
Taco was here. Remember, he tried to get banned, and now then
Man, nobody's here tonight. Nobody cares. It's a stupid place.
you want to get him. You want to get him on the show. Maybe he'll have more to tell you.
Here's what it is. He says Sack smokes Padrones only. He said uh, maybe Sack is back in the insane asylum.
check back in.
That's the only guy I know that ever bragged about that. Like nobody asked him. He was like, "Yeah, and I went to a insane asylum." I was like, "You don't. You shouldn't be telling people that."
I also feel like you shouldn't tell people that you fingered a big vagina.
Hmm?
I don't know if that's just
You
me.
should what?
I also wouldn't tell somebody if I fingered a big vagina.
Well, I think if you bring that up, you have to kind of explain the situation. But he's like, "I can't talk about it." I guess it was top secret. It was top secret. Do you remember that popcorn pop secret? There's nothing secret about popcorn. How is it pop secret? Yeah, pop secret. Like the secret
90s was full
when
of
corn
shit. Yeah.
when dried corn gets hot, it explodes and becomes popcorn.
Richie, come on, man, be cool.
It's like, hold on. You can microwave it or stovetop that shit. Holy cow! You know what I'm
Richie,
saying?
Richie. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you got the Illuminati. He's giving away all the secrets. You know what I'm saying? This shit is top secret.
Dude, you finally crossed the line.
I know. They're gonna come get me. Pop secret.
Big big popcorn's gonna get you.
Yeah. I like the way you call me Big Pop Secret. Put your put your popcorn in the microwave and you like I can't forget whatever. First off, fuck you. The popcorn you claim, you know. I don't know. It's like, yeah. You salty bitch. Yes, I don't know. It's just- but
So I think if you did a
yeah, yeah.
if you ever a top 10 or whatever, you can you can submit it to Half Wheel and he'll take it. He'll put it in the consensus. It'll be part of the official.
I guess so. Is what it is, man. Is what it is. So did you see that story today about in Arby's? Um, and what's Arby's catchphrase? We got the meats.
I think it's okay, we got the
Um,
meats, okay.
they found a woman in the freezer today in Arby's. I mean, they got all the meats now. I mean, how do you explain?
I hope I hope that was a build up to the joke. I hope that was the punchline when
No,
you
no, this is a
launched.
true story. It's a true story.
Yeah, yeah.
What happens in that? Okay, so does the manager come in? Somehow there was a woman in the freezer. Um, we had the cheeks. Yeah, exactly. What happens? Like, okay, so do they lose their license? Do you have to like throw out all the food? I think you have to throw all the food out because
You
nobody's
gotta
want,
throw out all the
yeah, nobody's gonna want Arby's that was next to a dead body because that's a morgue now. Now that freezer is a morgue, right?
sure. Yeah. You don't want morgue meat.
No, no. So,
You don't want a cheeseburger came out of the morgue. Yeah, definitely not.
but if she worked there, she had to get murdered because if she worked there, how would she get in the freezer? How would you get stuck in the freezer? Because like no one's closing an Arby's by themselves. Like I said, no, nobody. Whether the manager closes up and she's like, I was closing with two people. Where are they? Oh, I don't know. Let me lock the doors and come back to work tomorrow. Like no,
Right.
if somebody's stuck in the freezer, you don't die right away unless someone killed you. So what would you be doing? Screaming, yelling, calling someone on their cell phone. Hey, I'm 911. I'm stuck in the fucking freezer. It would take
Probably
hours.
pounding
It would
the door too. Yeah.
hours, hours to die, to freeze to death. So how does that happen unless you're murdered? She was dead or just chilling. Yo, look what Sacco just wrote, man. That was brutal.
I saw it, dude. That's why I made the face.
Gangster, 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 gangster.
So it was a cold joke, man.
Some dishes are better served cold. I don't know. But and then also another news, some kids were playing hide and seek um, on some guy's, and I guess maybe they ended up on some guy's property, and so the guy shot him. You know, I'm not sure the whole situation. And if you have a fenced property, you're not supposed to be trespassing. But if like 8-year-olds are like, I'll yell action for one, two, if they're counting 10, here I come. And like if kids are playing hide and seek, the oldest game kids could play. Why would a homeowner, okay, if they own your property, be like, hey kids, go home, get the fuck off my property. Unless if they were armed children with like sickles and knives playing uh that would be a scary game of hide and seek, like hide and destroy. Like, where are you? Oh my god! So basically, it was the Hunger Games. These kids were playing hide and seek, and the homeowner came out was like, ah! He's just like, fuck. Dude, can you imagine for that second? The kid's like, what? Yo, what game is this? You know what I'm saying? That's what the.
Maybe, dude. Maybe he grew up as a member of a, what's it called, like a firing squad. Maybe he had worked at a firing squad, and the kid goes, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the guy goes, okay.
That's true. I don't know.
That's the kid. I don't know, man.
I don't think so. I think the guy. I don't. I think the guy was probably crazy. And that's why you don't go on other people's property because you don't know who is there, and it might be someone who's crazy. You know, if you were playing hide and seek on Saks property, yeah. What?
You're like you're like you're like, I'm trying to hide. Why do I keep finding dead canaries?
Yeah, and a lot of dead cats.
I mean, if you're not tipped off to leave at that point, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. It's a crazy world, man. Nobody cares. It is what it is. It is what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
it always is what it is, right? Right?
I think on one level, yes. On another level, no.
When is it not is what it is? If somebody robs a bank, are they not robbing a bank? It is what it is. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, but on the other hand, just because it is what it is doesn't mean it couldn't be something else.
No, no, no. It is what it is. If you come home and your wife's with another man, it is what it is. She's with another man. You could say, well, you didn't treat her right, but it is what it is. Right? Your wife's a whore.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose, but I guess your response to it is still in your control.
No, I didn't say how you respond to the cards. You could be playing poker and like somebody has you beat and you're like, oh, it is what it is. You're like, yeah, but no, it is what it is. Like,
I think if you really want to make an argument for the literal standing of it is what it is, I think it's a truly circular argument. I think it's impossible to say it's not. I mean, it's like saying cats are cats are cats. It's totally logically equivalent. There's no
yeah, but that's the only argument that is always true though. Is it
um I don't know
and
if it's true so much as just
you can have it
it's not so much. I wouldn't say it's a true argument so much as a true like fact. You know what I mean? It's like
life is facts and then facts you don't want to accept. Just because you don't accept the facts, like if you're dead, it is what it is. You're dead. Oh, I don't accept that. Now you're a ghost. Congratulations.
I mean, is it is what it is literally what you mean by it is what it is, meaning the state of things is the state of things.
If you got fired tomorrow, it is what it is. You're fired. You'd be like, well, I don't know. You're done. You got to go somewhere else now. Like if you got fired and you just stayed there, you're like, what are you doing? PG, you got to go home. You're like, well, it is what it is. He's like, yeah, you're fired. Well, but I still like this place. I have friends here. Yeah, but you have to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're like,
Yeah, if you're saying factual information is factual information, yeah. But the thing is, I don't
well, humans don't always operate on facts because they lie or they believe lies. That's why. Because most humans can't accept the truth.
I think that Sure.
What?
Sure.
Like this?
I mean, it is. I
This is a
Yeah,
cigar.
it is.
It is what it is. This is a cigar, right? But to me, it's
It
happy.
is.
It's an escape. But to other person, they're going to go, "Oh, that's disgusting." Now, those are just personal beliefs. I love this thing. Another person hates tobacco. But those are not truths. Those are just their interpretations. It always was a cigar.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. I don't think it's a tremendously useful metric.
I
I
think
think
I think is the only metric. I think my car is always a car. It's never going to be a boat. It's never going to be a helicopter. Whatever I believe, it is what it is. It's a Toyota Corolla.
but you could.
I can love that car. I can hate that car. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
I don't see the value in operating at that level. You can use it as a check. You could say, am I becoming separated from what is? But then, I mean, what is the value of life? The value of life isn't just simply the facts. That's the basis for what could become value in life.
You have family, right? Why are they family? Because you're related by blood, which means
Mhm.
somebody you knew had sex with somebody you knew, and then somehow you're related to this whole gambit. It is what it is. Now, whether you like these people or dislike them or never want to talk to them again, that's your opinion, man. But they're always going to, if, for example, if God forbid your father murdered you, is he still your father? Yes, because it is what it is.
Sure, but that's the prerequisite for all further information. You're just bringing us back to the original piece of information.
Well, what new information could you have? A tree's a tree.
I think that,
A fish,
well, okay.
is a fish.
So
You could catch
so
the
there
you could put it on the wall. You could eat the fish. You could make it to a sandwich. You could fry it up and make fucking fish tacos. But at the end of the day, it always was a fish.
you could have an existential argument saying that the fact of the object is not the label. And
It's
by
not.
saying a fish is a fish,
You can't argue about the facts.
no, but you could say that the system that the human has created, which is a label trying to explain the real thing, is not equivalent to the real thing. So that's one argument you could make
No,
in
but you
terms of.
or what the real thing means to you, as opposed to what someone else could be totally different. And your reality is not always based on facts. Your reality is really your perception of facts, right?
Sure.
One person can see a dog walking down the street and they go, "Oh, this lost doggy." The other person goes, "I better run. I got bit by a dog when I was a kid." Both are true in their reality, but they're not. Is what it is. All it was a dog.
But we start from the place of it is what it is. We start from the place of what is.
No, no, you don't start. It always is. In the past, now, and the future, always will be what it is. How you respond to it or how you interpret
Right.
it.
But that's the point. It always is. What is always the case. There's nothing that you can do
All
specifically.
you could do in reality is maybe at best partake on what is what it is. If you're having sex with a woman, it is what it is. You think you're the first person to do this, or the last person, or the only person she has. It is what it is. You're just you're with the you're with it right now. It is what it is.
I think it's pretty cool. I'm the last guest on the live. That's pretty cool. I'm just kidding. Um, what I'm trying to say is because it's so prerequisite, I don't think it's particularly important
No, but there is.
because it's
Let me go back to that. There is no past. All there is, it was a present that already happened. You can't act in the past and you can't act in the future. You can say, I'll prepare for the future, but when that future comes, it's today. If anyone has ever tried to kill you, it's in today. No one can kill you yesterday. No one can kill you tomorrow. What any person attacking you is in the moment. Does that make any sense? Now, if you survive that moment, you could say, "Well, I almost got killed yesterday," but you know what I'm saying? No, but that yesterday when it happened, it was today. There is no
What
yes, there is no tomorrow.
but
It
what
is.
what I'm what I'm
It,
saying is what I'm saying is you can look at what is, and I'll agree with you, what is exists and it's not mutable in a sense. It just is that thing. But that doesn't particularly matter because you can never have an interaction with it.
no, I think what only ever really matters in your life is what's there right now. Like, you know how to swim, right? It doesn't matter though. You're not in the ocean. But if you're in the ocean, it is what it is. Now you have to swim. It is what it is.
I think you're just saying that you're interacting with a state.
What else is there? What else is there? You get so caught up in emotions or hype or sadness or joy, and those are all irrelevant. Those are all passing, fleeting things.
But
It,
who's to say that's not also what it is? Who's to say that the emotion that you have is not your genetic makeup and everything you've ever gone through in
no
life?
bullshit.
That is.
No bullshit. If it was genetic, then you would always be happy or always be sad. These
What?
are just responses to what is, right? You got a new job. The job is what it is. So the response is happy. But the happiness was always there, but you just decided to activate it because or you like what it is right now. If you have a woman and she's ugly or she stinks, it is what it is, and you don't like it. But she always stunk. It is what it is. She had bad hygiene. You know what I'm saying? Though these emotions that you have, in a way, they're just a response to what it is, but it doesn't change what it is, right?
But
If
but your
was
your
attacking,
response is.
if a bear was attacking you in the woods, and you responded with joy versus sadness, would it matter? It is what it is. The bear's going to kill you. It is what it is.
But the way that you respond is part of what is.
No, it doesn't change what it is. If you lose at a poker game, you start screaming with joy like you won. Is that crazy? Well, I don't know, but that's it's irrelevant. It doesn't change what it
But
is.
your action is also part of what is.
You not
Whatever you feel,
no. Now you're talking about action. Emotion is action. Emotion is just a feeling.
emotion is state. Your state is part of what is.
Can you show me what happiness or sadness looks like? No, it's just a response. You can't see happiness. You can't see sadness. Like oh look, there's sadness right there. No, it's an internal response to what is is.
I was reading Sako's note. Um, what I'm saying is, you can look at the physical state of things and say, this is a bear. That is. That is. Okay, fine. But in that case, I would argue that it's equally important to say, I'm experiencing this emotion in this moment. That is. Whatever happened that led me to that place is equally a result of everything that came before it as the sidewalk and the bear.
No,
How the bear is feeling is also part of what is. The bear attacks you, that's part of what is. The bear doesn't attack you, that's also part of what is.
you're missing the point, my friend. You're saying you have a control of it is what it is. Like you could change what it is.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you're
Well,
part of what is.
you're in, the truth of your real reality, has set guidelines on it is what it is. If you jump, you'll fall. Can't stress it enough. It is what it is. Well, I feel happy about that. Well, I feel sad about that. Doesn't matter. Two guys jump off a roof. One guy's laughing. One guy's screaming. They both hit the ground. It is what it is.
But all of those things are part of what is. If you experience happiness, that is part of what is. Your 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 experience is
No, no.
equally as
Type
is
your
as the sidewalk.
bullshit. The way you perceive it is all temporary. Have you ever felt happy before? Have you?
Probably,
What
probably. I don't know.
do you mean you don't know? You felt happiness. You've laughed. But
Who
doesn't
knows?
you could be happy right now. You could have won the lotto and you buy a new house because you think you're happy now. And then some guy comes in with a mask and robs it all. And now you're sad. It doesn't change. That's just your response. It is what it is.
Notor- Notorious Joshua did. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
I'm not going to continue about it. I mean, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse. But okay, for example, if you
Okay, so
if you're with a fake woman, which I'm trying to be nice here, it wasn't what you thought it was, but it always what it was. You just didn't realize it. It is what it is. A fake
so
a fake man will always be a fake man, and a fake woman will always be a fake woman. No, you
you
could.
talking about are you talking about Geo?
It is what it is.
I'm kidding. Um, what I'm trying to express is if you're looking at the state of existence, your thoughts are part of that state of existence.
Whether it's part of it or not, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
I think it's at the same level of
Well,
relevance.
okay. Whether you've never seen an ocean or you think about it every day, the ocean doesn't care. The waves come in, the waves go out. Storms happen. If you go in and you don't swim, you're going to drown. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's just what that's the nature. Why? Because you don't belong in the water. You're not a fish. We could artificially go in the water with a submarine. We could artificially go in the water with a boat, but there's nothing natural about a boat. We're not supposed to be in there. And that's why boats sink and people die because the water is for fish. You know what I'm saying though? You could go in the
Sure.
but what, in a plane? That's not natural. You could pretend to be a plane is just a pretend bird. You're inside of a fake eagle. Yeah, look at me flying around. Well, what happens if that engine stops? Well, because you're really not a bird. You're not a bird. So men are the only, mankind is the only thing that could temporarily, like a bird can never be a fish and a fish can never be a bird, but mankind could go underwater in a submarine or a scuba gear, or they could go in the sky. But it is what it is. The reality is, though, you're not supposed to be there. What do I mean you're not supposed to be in there? Because if one thing goes wrong, buddy, it is what it is. It's going to happen, and I guarantee it.
So let me clarify what I'm not saying. What I'm not saying is you decide I've got 5 cigars and I decide I would like 5 more cigars. And I decide I have 10 cigars. What's this say?
What do you mean you decide? If you have 10 cigars, you don't decide. You have 10 cigars.
Right. No, no, I'm saying if I have 5 cigars, 5 more, and then I go, actually, you know what? I do have 10. I'm not saying reality 10. I still have 5. That's the fact of the physical space in front of me. What I'm saying is what's equally important is that I thought to myself, I want 5 more cigars, or I'm thinking to myself, I have five
Yeah,
cigars,
but you actually
or that I'm
had
using these
idiot.
labels.
You didn't realize you had 10. You're misguided. If you're misguided, it doesn't change that it is. If you thought you only had 5 cigars, but there's 5 more under your couch, it always was 10 cigars. You just were a fucking idiot. You didn't realize it. That's what I'm saying. Your emotions or what you think are irrelevant. At best, a wise man could just tap into what it is. Like, did you ever see somebody in a bar in a movie, and the guy goes, "We gotta go. Let's go," because he knows trouble's gonna happen because it is what it is. Where most people are like, "No, it's not," and then trouble happens, like, "Run for your lives!" Like, you know what I'm saying? No, like, what were you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to worry about sharks if you don't go in the water. You know what I'm saying? Though, but people want to pretend that it's not what it is, and those are the people that die
Okay,
in stupid ways. You know what I'm saying?
but they them dying is equally part of what is. Their stupid thought process
Yes,
leading to that
by
result
not,
is equally
by
part
not
of what is.
let me finish. By not realizing what is what it is, will end your life faster. If you're holding a firearm and you go, it's not loaded, but do you really know? If you didn't confirm what it is, if it's really loaded, then that's what it is. But you're like, no, it's not loaded, and you pull the trigger and you kill your friend. That's what it was. You just
No,
didn't what it was.
but in my opinion,
The only
what
way
it was.
life is to get in tune to what it is. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can get in tune what it is, but you can't change what it is. You have to get in tune what it is.
But what I'm saying
Get,
is how
get,
much.
get in tune with what it is. Get in tune, right?
But I'm saying
You ever hear,
how much.
I can't believe this happened. Why do these things always happen to me? Because it is what it is, bitch. How do I keep getting AIDS? Because it is what it is, bitch. You haven't said,
I would be really interested if I caught AIDS multiple times.
oh,
And if somebody told me it is what it is, I would actually ask for more explanation, I think, in this situation.
it is. You have HIV plus.
Two positives make a negative.
He's like
You
this time.
caught it again. Now
No, no. Imagine the second time you catch it, it makes it go away. You're like, all right, stop right there. Stop. Stop. Stop right there. I'm gonna. I don't. I can't find my ashtray, so it is what it is. So that's all I'm saying though. He said you only have 350 cigars. It is what it is. He says. He says it is what it is. AKA nobody cares. He said this is there's no thought. He said, you smoke what you smoke. You decide what you decide. Whatever will be. Case of it is what it is. I can't. I can't stress that enough. You know what I'm saying? No. Now I'm not saying you can't think outside the box to adapt to is what it is, or I'm not saying you can't prepare for it is what it is. But it's always going to be what it is. You know what I'm saying? No.
no, see, I don't think
Well, once again, you think.
I don't think
Thinking
you
is
can.
not what it is. Your thoughts are stupid.
No, no, I'm saying I don't think you
Stupid.
can.
Your thoughts are stupid.
My thoughts are definitely not
Everyone's
stupid.
thoughts are stupid because that's not what it is.
I don't think I think thoughts are incredible. Thoughts are what separate us from
From the animal, but
whatever.
the difference is the animals know what it is. The animal, when a rabbit sees a fucking mountain lion, he's like, it is what it is. They don't think. They respond. You gotta go. See, mankind has created this artificial reality of things that are not real. It's
Dude,
it, it's not natural. Our society is a country away from dissolving, and it'll go back to the jungle because that's the real nature of things. It is what it is, right?
you got to read some existentialism. Like
Do you understand what I'm saying? What we're doing is not natural. Building these little homes and piping in water and electricity and natural gas so we can have heat. I mean, it's nice, but it's not real. It's not real. How do I know it's not real? What happens when a tornado comes? It knocks it all down. What's left? The earth. It is what it is. The earth doesn't destroy the earth, though. Oh, there was a fire. Oh, after the fire's gone, the earth is still there. Is what it is. Well, what's not there? Your Corvette. your gun collection, your cigar collection, your house, things that were never was. It is what it is. Those are all nice,
But a tree might be
all
burned
nice
down.
little things that you invented that are not real. It's bullshit. It is what it is.
But they
It
they
is
they
always reset.
they are real, and they are real, pointing to your argument of what it is what it is. Cigars are real, it is what it is. It's a physical state. It's a real physical state.
A house is not a permanent state. If a tornado comes and knocks it down, you're like, where
But it's a real state.
it's a temporary. It's a temporary. It's not a permanent thing. Like this ship can't sink. Really? Okay. When the ship sunk, did the ocean sink too? No. The ocean is what it is. We
I think
we can't destroy what it is, but what it is can destroy us. I can't stress that enough. I can't stress that enough. I can't stress that enough. We haven't found a way to destroy lightning, but lightning can destroy you. Right? Right? Right?
I think that things on Earth could change. Things that look stable
False.
over
But
our period of
it's always what it is. Always what it was. We could have newer artificial ideas like the boats we have now are more high tech than it was 1,000 years ago. But it
but the
always was.
has changed.
It was a bunch of assholes floating in the ocean trying to, oh, we're a fish too. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not supposed to be here. And that storm coming in reminds you real quick. You got domed. It is what it is. You weren't supposed to be there.
What I'm trying to say is the physical state of things is, but also the potential created by the immediate physical state also is, and will dictate what happens next.
False.
That's all I'm saying.
What it is always happening and what is reality. At the same time, there's artificial reality happening at the same time. The ocean is what it is. You making a stupid little boat is artificial. It wasn't supposed to happen.
It's
That-
but it's
and
no it
think about that tree.
how could it
Think about
how could it not
that.
have been supposed to happen if it did happen? That's
No, no.
impossible.
There's things that happen that were not supposed to happen. That tree wouldn't have chopped down itself, carved itself into a fucking rowboat, and told you to go out in the fucking ocean. That tree was fine in the woods, but you decided, let me do this stupid fucking thing, and then you go out there, and then what happens? It is what it is. Remind you, hey, asshole. It is what it is, right? Oh no! How did this happen? It is what it is.
Chewy says the cigar needs aging. It is what it is. Um,
Yeah, it is what it is.
life life looks to grow and change. And so us finding a place where we're manipulating other parts of life, like a tree, which is also life, I don't see why that's unnatural. And furthermore, I'll make it with your own argument. How could it not be true? It is what it is.
There's a difference between what it is and what you're doing. Some people tap into what it is, and you would call those people wise, but most people would mock. They would mock somebody. Being Having wisdom is not the same thing as being popular, right?
Sure, I mean those are two different concepts.
Not concepts. Anyone who has true wisdom, they're understanding what it is. Well, my father always told me, "Don't go out after midnight. Nothing good happens." I didn't understand that. I understand what he's saying because it is what it is. Once the sun goes down, higher rate of stupid things happen in the cloak of darkness because it is what it is. It is what it is, and that comes with wisdom because my father was older than me. And the older you get, the more you should be more accepting of what it is because you've been around. Hopefully, you've learned you've learned to accept it is what it is. Yep.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, time out, time out. Is everybody in the comments trying to give me examples of it is what it is so that I can understand?
He said,
I hope that's what's going on because they've given me hundreds of examples of things that is what it is.
he says, if you don't have a job, it is what it is. Homeless camping on the streets, it is what it is. He says, now it will be possible to change that. It is what it is. I smashed the like button. It is what it is. The cigar is changing. How many wrenches hit the like button? It's the dinosaurs got domed. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. It is what it is.
Okay. I don't think you're gonna see my side of the argument here. So let me ask you this. What's the value of it is what it is?
It's irrelevant what I think. I, at best, the smartest thing I could ever do in life is accept what it is.
But okay, all right. Do you realize the only accept what it is because everything that's happened has brought you to the point where you feel like that's the best thing that you could do.
When you say everything,
But
there's you could be doing a lot of stupid things that you shouldn't have been doing. Right? If you're fucking around with drugs, you're like, oh, but they're fun. No, they never were fun. You just thought they were fun. Everyone knows drugs are dangerous and bad. Well, no, but they're fun. Yeah, well, it is what it is. And now you're dead. Is what it is. But at the same time, you're always going to die to begin with, but now you just died faster. At the same time, if you were never born, you would have never died. So the only way to live is to die. The only way to die is to live. It is what it is.
I feel
It
I
is
feel that this
your parents, right? The, if you ask most parents to say, well, what's the most precious thing to you? Oh, my children. Well, if you didn't have sex, you wouldn't have brought those children here and then they wouldn't have died. So, in a way, by your parents having sex and bringing you here, they gave you a death sentence.
yeah, but
But,
the
but
point of
what?
life is not
But what?
to live forever.
But what? Your,
The point of life is not to
your
live forever.
parents created you, so now you could suffer. Is what it is. Welcome to the party, pal. Is what it is. At best, all you could do is do it to someone else. Meet a girl, have a bunch of kids, and be like, your turn to die. That's what it is. It's a cruel game. Our reality is so much crueler than you want to admit. And people want to play games with all these fake ideas. But it doesn't change what it is. The nature of this existence is brutal. These false ideas we have, or the civil society, or rules. And I can understand some of the concepts, and they sound nice. But the truth is, it always is what it is. What it is. At best,
You
behaving because they kind of want to stay out of prison. At best. So what does that prove to you? Is what it is.
it is what it is.
We're all we're all a bunch of fucking animals. And if we didn't have this invention of some type of morality, backed up with some type of punishment for being immoral by robbing or stealing or etc. So what does that mean?
It is what it is.
Is what that we
I feel like I'm killing it now. Wait, ask me any question why. I think I know the answer.
is what it is. You know. It's kind of like life is like a cigar. The only way to enjoy it is to cut it and light it on fire and destroy it. The only way for the cigar to actually, I guess, fulfill what it was intended for is to be destroyed. But cigars is still not a natural concept. It's not. It's manipulated. Completely manipulated. It was not cigars. You could say tobacco growing is natural. Not I'm not talking about people planting it, but it naturally happening out in the wilderness. Okay, but then people saying, well, if I take this and I grow it and I age it and I roll it, then I can sell it and then you'll buy it. That's not what it is.
Are you just
But
saying
this is what I'm saying. Because people making cigars is only happening because people are making cigars. If it could stop happening, it's not what it is. Us having
are you
is a nice luxury, but that's not what it is.
are
Because if
you saying
they finish, if they stop making cigars, cigars stop existing. What I'm telling you, the things that it are is always are is. If you stop breathing, you die. If you don't drink water, you're dehydrated. If you don't swim in the water, you drown. Those are what is. Other things are not what it is. They're nice. That's nice. Oh, look at these clothes I have. That's nice. That's not what it is, though.
so you're just talking about
I'm saying the separation.
something that
Let me finish. I'm saying the separation. I'm trying to teach you something, young man, to understand the difference from what it is to what you want or what you think. Those are concepts, and I can understand that. Creativity, imagination. Those are nice little things, but that's not what it is. That's all I'm saying. They're separate. They're separate. And only mankind was able to separate that. The animals are always in what it is. They are in tune with what's natural, with what is real. They are fish are always in what it is. Humans are like, wow, today I want to eat something from the sky. I'm going to eat a bird. And tomorrow I'm going to eat something from the ground. I'm going to eat a vegetable. And the next day I'm going to eat a fish from the ocean. You know what I'm saying? That's not what it is. You decided to have all these things. That's not what it is. It was not what it's meant to be. It's not natural.
so
Hold on.
may I speak?
You think eating Pop Rocks and Starburst and Skittles is what it is? That's a natural thing.
I'm gonna just shut up. Just let me know when I can speak again. Go ahead.
Go ahead, young man.
My question is, are you saying it is what it is just things that happen without intervention?
Things that cannot be stopped, even with invention. It is what it is.
Oh, no, I said intervention.
You can't intervene what it is. Okay, okay. How many earthquakes have we stopped? When the earthquake happens, it is what it is. Now you could try to get away from it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that the earthquake was going to happen. You understand? If a volcano's going off, can you put the lava back in? No, it is what it is. Right? You putting in your money in your bank account, you could do that because that's not natural. Well, these are the little things we made up. Oh, we can control a bank. We can control our deposits. You ain't controlling an earthquake or a volcano. I can't stress it enough.
I don't think theoretically it would be impossible to control an earthquake or a volcano. Theoretically, why couldn't we? We just have insufficient technology to do it.
Oh, that's what we need. We need a couple of Apple iPhones and Mount Vesuvius. It will be okay.
What I'm saying is we're powerless at what level?
It doesn't.
You know, it
That's the fallacy of man thinking they're God. We're not.
no, I'm
Everything
what
we've
I'm
made, God made this world. Period. Everything we've made within it will be destroyed by this world. Who's superior? The Roman Empire, massive. What happened when Pompeii went off? All the Romans got blown away in the lava, frozen. Doesn't matter. Laughable. Laughable. God laughs at it all, laughs at us all. We didn't create this earth. We can't create a mountain. We can't create volcanoes. We can't create rivers. We could try to manipulate, do some little bullshit and build a dam. Give it time. That dam without maintenance will fall apart, crack down, and go back to the way it was. It is what it is. We can artificially try to manipulate things, but no matter what, it is what it is. We'll always reset it. right?
I think we're contending with a force that's bigger than us.
No, we're trying to manipulate. There's a battle between what it is and what it's not, and we're trying to be in what's not. For example, you have a property. It is what it is. If you just leave the property, it's going to overgrow. But you have a landscaper come to make it look what you believe is nice and neat. That's not natural. But you like the artificial world better. Also, there's probably codes in your town, which a town is not natural. But you live in an artificial society bound by regulations. So you comply because you have an idea of money. This money belief that, well, if I work for my money and you'll take my money, you'll work for my money because you want money too. It's not natural, but artificial. If that volcano's going off, could you pay the volcano to stop? If the bear is eating you, can you pay the bear to stop? If you're drowning in the water, can you pay the ocean gold to stop? So what it is will always win because that's the only thing what it is. We just live in an artificial place where it's not, and you think that's what it is. Most people believe what it is not is what it is. And I'm telling you, you have to separate and understand the difference. What it is will always be what it is. Don't be surprised.
I I feel that we're not. How do you know that we don't?
What,
If there isn't a larger force?
what your feelings are relevant.
No, no, no. Listen, how do you know that there's not a larger force that can dictate all of these forces, which seem impossible to us?
What do you mean?
Our God, our God may be a human at his level or her level. There may be a greater God than that God, and there may be a greater God than that God. We don't know. You're just looking at a level of scope and saying that we're ineffective at a certain level of scope. But by saying that there is a distinct differentiation
What
between
I'm
the two,
trying to tell you is whatever man has made is irrelevant and will be destroyed by what God has made. When you're not in tune what it is, I can't stress it enough.
but that doesn't mean it's not binary in the sense of reality. It's binary in the sense of our vision. That's what I'm trying to say. There are things that are under human control and there are things above human control. That's the separation that I feel that you're saying.
Okay, you could say,
But it
but who wins every time? If a flood happens, what happens to your town? Right? If a massive fire happens to your town, what happens? Here's what it is.
what I'm trying to say is the state of reality is potentially unknown to us and can extend all the way down and all the way up in terms of forces that are powerful.
False. False. We know what it is. You just don't want to accept it. Oh, I can't believe PG drowned. I believe it. He's not a fish. Why was he out in the ocean by himself? I believe it because it is what it is. See what I'm saying, though?
What I'm saying is, if you're saying what is, the property of something existing is extremely broad. And what I feel that you're pointing to is the human's power, the ability to exert over a certain aspect.
We have never
That's the difference
cannot
in
exert.
drawing.
You could you could play games. You could lie to yourself. It is what it is.
Geo, I'm finding out if it is what it is or not. Some sources are saying it isn't what it is, and other sources are saying it is what it is. Um,
What I'm trying to tell you is what is not natural will always be destroyed by what is natural. And that I firmly believe is the world's way of showing dominance. And I'm not saying I'm
that's
not
fit.
my
Look,
own.
that's fair. I
Let me
get that.
finish. I'm not saying for my. I want to get to my personal feelings, but my My personal feelings is never what it is. I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing, or like, oh, I'm not. I don't think it's nice when a flood happens and a whole town gets destroyed. Yeah, that's not nice, but it is what it is. You understand the
No,
difference?
but what I'm saying is your personal feelings are part of what is. That's what I'm
No,
trying to say.
no, no,
Yes,
no. That there's two separate things. Your personal feelings is just a response to what it is, but it does not change what it is. If you get a bill in the mail and you don't got the money, it is what it is. Oh, I don't got the money.
thank thank you. It adds up. It adds up, bro.
That's all I'm trying to tell you, my friend. Separate what it is from what it's not. And don't get them twisted. And then you'll have a better grasp on how to respond to things. You can respond to something, but it doesn't change what it is. That's all I'm saying.
But it may change what it is.
No, it may change that you survive, but it doesn't change what it is. If a flood happens right now and you decide to start swimming, that's you responding, trying to survive what it is. But you're like, wow, this is not what it is. I know, no, no. What happened? Okay, did you ever see a mob movie and the guy's getting whacked? What do they normally say? No, no, no. They're not accepting what it is. It is what it is right now. This is what it is. You just didn't accept it.
But what I'm saying is the reason they're responding that way is always how they're going to respond in that situation.
Not always.
And it,
There are people that accept it. They knew it was going to happen eventually. It is what it is. Because that's the nature of things.
but we're part of nature. That's what I'm trying to say. We're part of the state.
We can be part of nature in some aspects, but most of the things we do are not natural. People eating,
How
people
how
eat,
could we possibly?
people eating ass is not natural.
Of course, we can't we can't separate ourselves from nature. There is no thing that we can do that somehow makes us not part of nature. We're never so big or so. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. We come from nature. How could we not be natural?
You come from nature. You came out of a tree.
It came out of a human, which is an animal, which is part of nature.
Humans are not part of nature. God made the earth first. God made the earth first, and then He put people on it. He didn't make people and they're just floating in space and they go, oh, let's make them an earth. He made the earth first, and then He put people on it. But He
But
had the power to say, now you exist. You can only make someone else. You can never self create. You can't say, I exist again. No. You and another woman are going to have to procreate, and you can make someone else. And then that person could grow up and meet someone else, and they can make someone else. But nobody has self procreate. You can't make yourself. Only God had the power to say, now someone starts. And then from there, we could not try to be like God, but we could try to create, but we can't create ourselves. And He did that on purpose just to let you know you're not as powerful as Him. Do you understand the difference? Can you imagine the difference if there was a guy that could say, can make cars without a factory? He could say exist and the car exists. Holy shit. No, that's what God could do. We need to build a factory, get the parts, we can make things, but we can't self make. You can't just say, that's it. Exist. Exist. You can't. I can't stress it enough. Because
respond. Okay.
if you came from your parents and your parents came from their parents, how the fuck did the first parents start? Impossible unless somebody said, begin. Now we're talking about Genesis. Someone had to literally say exist. Something more, like you said, more powerful than what we the scope that we can even begin to reason. We can't. And that's a scary fact.
Geo, Geo, God. God made me so I didn't feel that I need to make a haircut. Do a haircut. That's how he made me. That's how I was made.
He said you could
That's part of
hide
what is.
cheeks instead, but it's you're sitting on your couch. What do you say? And watching this, it is. What it
I also want to say, Gio, I have not made the announcement yet. If you'd like to make it for me, that'd be great.
I'm creating a
Go
GoFundMe.
ahead. I've not made a big announcement. It's all you, dude.
Oh shit, man, he's going hard at you. He said he's flexing.
Yeah. He's gonna make my big announcement for me, Richie.
What's that?
I mean, he's gonna let us know.
Oh, well, it is what it is. Listen, that was a nice,
Yeah.
deep conversation, and I hope you understood what I was trying to say.
Let me think.
No, don't think. It is what it is. Don't worry about your thoughts.
No, dude, bro. No, I think you're best to do it, man. I'm embarrassed.
What happened? What happened?
I think you should do it.
Did you finally have sex? Were you clapping?
Um,
Were you clapping cheeks?
no, I honestly, I got no idea. I'm waiting for Gio to tell me.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Um, I just figured I'd write him a blank check. I figured I'd write him a blank check for the worst thing you could possibly say. Just go for it, but he doesn't want it. So, um, I think I mean, I guess we fundamentally differ in our philosophy because I feel that we're a force
But
that is from nature.
I wasn't trying to prove to you anything of my self philosophy. That wasn't philosophy. I was just trying to tell you what is. I didn't tell you one thing I believe. That's what it is.
Well, what I'm saying
What,
is,
what what's one thing? What did I tell you? Volcanoes are real. We can't stop them. Earthquakes are real. We can't stop them. Rain.
you told me that humans aren't part of nature.
We use nature. We're not part of nature. Does nature come over and visit you? Hey, what's up, summer? Hey, winter's over here too. Hey, fall's been drinking a lot.
Isn't life part of nature?
We're bound by nature. We if we all kill each other in a nuclear war, the Earth will still be here. It is what it is.
And we might come back.
If
We
God
might re-evolve to be being
died,
whatever we are.
if every human died, God would have, if He wanted to, could restart it. He could tell two people to start again, and they start procreating. That is possible. It happened after the flood. After the flood, everyone was dead except 8 people. Noah's Ark. This is a fact. This all throughout societies and different religions, whatever you want to call them, they all know about the Great Restart. There was great societies on the earth, and a universal flood happened. It destroyed everything. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Sako, Sako, humans will try to kill you as well. Geo says this conversation after a couple of drinks would be even more legendary. Richie, do you want to take a break? I'll take 3 shots. You take however many shots you need, and
Nah, I'm good.
I'm
I
kidding.
I just want beer. I know I can't change what it is. I can only accept.
I think we're part of what is. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, no, no.
I mean, but but it is what it is.
But that's the problem with man. Vanity. You think what it is. And then you say it's a belief or a truth, and that's not truth. What you think is not
No,
what it is truth. Now, the only time a man has truth is when he accepts what it is. Right?
I
Hold on, hold on,
agree with
hold
you
on.
that
You understand what I'm saying though?
okay. Look, let's work this up. I will agree to that. That what is not affected by. That's fair. But okay,
Okay,
continue.
when the sun came out this morning, did you believe it or not believe it? Did you ask it to come? Did you tell it to leave? It is what it is.
I agree. I agree. It's irrelevant because the two are not necessarily connected, as far as I know, although they may be at some level. But what I'm trying to say is that I still think that we're part of what is. We're part of what is. I'm not saying that our opinion makes fact. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the fact that I exist is part of what is. The fact that I'm speaking to you now is part of what is.
No, no, because if your parents didn't have sex, which could have happened, you wouldn't have been born. If your parents had an abortion, you wouldn't have been born. So that's not is. Your parents decided to do something. But the fact that summer and fall and spring and winter are going to happen, the fact that daytime and nighttime are going to happen, the fact that the ocean is always an ocean is going to happen. Those, as is what it is. The fact that
But
what?
what if it wasn't? What if
What if
things
the
were
ocean?
totally different?
What do you mean?
What if there was no ocean? What if it was just custard?
That's bullshit. There's an ocean because God said for there to be an ocean. He put water on this.
What if God said there should be custard?
Then that's what would have happened. But it's not what happened. So that's you. That's you trying to play God and be an idiot. I'm
What?
telling you the
Hold
difference.
on. Sorry. Can someone send Sako to 300? He's
What
a
do you
very valued member, and I'd like to make sure
What do you say? What do you say?
his wish.
He wants
No,
to.
he just wants to go to 300. Yeah,
Okay, here you go.
but he's important. He's important to us, and I want to make sure that he gets what he needs.
Here's what it is.
Um,
This is what it is. You know, look.
what I'm trying to say is, if the ocean was custard from forever ago, and then we're here now, we don't have control over it. It is what it is. So I'm just saying things
What
could be different than they are.
you're saying is retarded. What you're saying is retarded. The ocean is not custard. The ocean is the ocean because God said it so. Whatever God has put into place is still in place.
But it didn't have to be that way.
You're gonna get rid of the mountains. You're gonna get rid of the river.
I'm not
You're gonna
I'm not going to do it.
you're gonna tell the snow to stop. You're gonna
No,
tell
I'm not
stop.
I'm not going to do it. Whatever did it in the first place could do it differently.
We know whatever did it. We know what did it. God created this. What else could it be? Oh, imagination. Imagination.
You think God doesn't have an imagination?
I'm not here to tell you whatever God is. Whatever He did is, and I don't fuck with that. I only accept what it is. That's the difference. That's the difference.
Godspeed, Geo.
What do you say?
Um he said he's also looking to hang out with Sako, and that he
You know, fuck Gio.
yeah, fair enough.
You know, it is what it is. You know.
It is what it is. What I'm trying to say is you're saying that a force greater than us
Yes.
creates what is.
No, no, not creates. He already did create, and then he said he rested. He stopped. What he created was done, and
Okay.
then he put us here. And not that we have the power of God, but we have the power to do what he did, but on a much smaller level, with also minuscule time. So God just said people to exist, and then from there, people can make other people but not themselves. So we don't have the power of God, but he gave us some type of power because even though we can't make wheat exist, but we can plant wheat. We can make cigars exist, but we no one said let tobacco exist. No, we tapped into what he gave us. That's the difference. You understand that?
So, a force greater than us, something that we're in that we can't manipulate at the
Well, no.
level it was
Let
able
me
to
explain the
manipulate it.
difference. We can't manipulate as far as what it is, but as far as us, once again, we can make children and have more of us. You understand?
Sure,
But
but we can't manipulate it the way that it was manipulated
we can't,
previously
we
at
can't
the higher
manipulate the
level
true reality that the water belongs to the fish, right?
by the
I'm
greater
sorry.
force. The true reality could have been manipulated by the greater force. Whatever God said could have been.
Yes, but we don't decide that though. He already
No, I know.
yeah,
I'm not saying that.
decided.
But what I'm just what
It's kind of like I'm gonna give you a short example. We could do what he did on a much smaller scale, but it's all temporary. For example, if you had a plot of land, you wouldn't put your children on the plot of land and build a house around it. No, you'd have to remove the children, build the house, and then put the family in the house. Just as he built the earth first and then put his children in it. Do you understand the difference? Because you wouldn't put a foundation over your children unless you're a serial killer. You understand that? So we create a house and then we put people in it and we have a home. He made the earth and they put us in here. So we're doing what he did, but on a smaller scale. And maybe it was just a way for, I don't know. I don't know exactly why he did it. In a way, you would say, well, if God existed and he's with himself, was he lonely? Did he want to, or I don't have an answer on that. I don't have an
what 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 I'm trying to argue is welcome back, Sacco. Now you should send Geo. Keep Sacco, send Geo. Separate them.
answer.
They're up to no good. Okay.
See, here's the difference. I like Sacco, so I'll give him what he has. Gio could suffer.
No, but now you send Geo. Now the Sacco's back, so they can't
I
create trouble.
get enough. Nobody here tells me what to do.
Just my opinion. Anyway, uh, what I was saying, it was like I was telling you earlier about scope. Now, for everybody who wasn't on the phone with us talking about scope, scope is just the idea of in code, there can be a scope at a certain level, meaning there's something that's executing and there's data that's available to the thing that's executing or not. And it's a way of keeping data that is relevant to the thing that's executing contained with that thing or separated out for cleanliness. In business, you have something called scope creep, which is when you expand the project beyond what was agreed upon. Um, so, what I'm trying to say is scope in this case
Here's some
is the
facts
scope of
humans make that are always changing. Just like if you had a science book from now and 100 years ago, we have better technology now. But at the time, 100 years ago, that was the best. Those were the true facts that we believed at the time. But truth never changes. So in reality, we have what's called facts, but our facts are really kind of fictional because they're always changing because we're always learning more, right? We're always improving. What with the technology we have now and these circuit boards we have now and the compression ratio is better than 20 years ago, right? So, but 20 years ago, that was the best shit we had. So we're always trying to improve, which means we have not peaked, which means we are not God. Because whatever God made is.
so what I'm saying is let's take for argument that God exists and he creates this scope and he has or she or whatever, but let's say he has because that's the traditional. He has power within this scope and can do whatever and does whatever. Never mind.
You see,
Never mind.
and
How's the cigar?
now see, and I appreciate your concepts. You know, I don't disrespect you for that. Um, if I did, I wouldn't talk to you for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying, though. And I'm not trying to push an agenda because my agenda, that any agenda anyone has, give it time, you'll find faults in it. I am just telling you, accepting what it is. Those are the only bases we have for truth.
So
You
okay,
need
so
to
let me
breathe or you'll die. That's a truth. A human body without breath,
let me
dead. That's what it is. The fact if you're a
let, let,
Giants or a Yankees fan is irrelevant. That's not is what it is.
let, let me let me try to say this briefly. God's scope. God has control in this scope. This is the greater scope. We're within God's scope. We can
But he
act.
personal freedom to choose. So he didn't want robots. So
Sure,
if
I'm,
you're
I'm
observant,
getting to.
if you're observant and you accept what it is, you're gonna have a better life.
Here's what I'm saying. He has control in this scope. We're inside of this scope, and we have control inside of our own scope. Right? That's what we're talking about. My argument is that what we do in our own scope is part of what is, because what is goes through all scopes. A scope that could be greater or could be Sako. I'm trying to use the least fancy words that I know. Actually,
Here's the thing, though: what you decide and what you think you decide or affects your life is irrelevant to what it is, right?
no.
Your
But what I'm
existence
saying,
doesn't change what it is. You dying
it
right, you dying right now doesn't change what it is, right? But if a volcano goes off, it changes what it is.
does it. Why does a volcano going off matter more than a person
Because
dying?
everyone living around the volcano, which you shouldn't build around a volcano, is dead now.
So it doesn't matter because they either matter or they don't matter. And if they don't matter, then it doesn't matter that the volcano went off.
It doesn't change what it is.
My argument again is that the state of is complete through the spectrum all
You're
the way
trying
down to
to you're
minutia, which
saying
doesn't matter.
humans' ridiculous choices at the same time are all equal to what it is, and they're happening at the same time. Um, I disagree with on that, but that's your opinion. That's your opinion. I don't believe your opinion is what it is, and I don't believe my opinion is what it is. I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm telling you it is what it is.
Sorry, I'd like to pause. Sako, I tried to define scope. Either he looked away for a second or I didn't explain it well. Scope is basically just it's my third time explaining scope
I don't think
today. Scope is basically saying, okay, give another example. Poker. Inside of poker, it's totally moral to lie. Like that's normal because that's the rule set creates a.
right. But is poker natural? You know what?
No, no, hold on. Wait.
Is poker
We're
natural?
not talking about the other thing. I'm just talking about scope. No, I'm just talking about scope. I'm just talking about scope. I'm just talking about scope. So what I'm saying is, just in the human level, at the human level, Richie, when you have a game, you can create a scope. Or if you're doing a project, you can create a scope for that project. The things that you will do in the project, the things that you won't do. Go to work. There are things within the scope of work. For instance, you would you would do business or you would work with a person to do a project. You probably wouldn't scrub your nuts in and out of the shower inside of the scope of work unless you have, I don't know what job that is, but most people wouldn't with a desk job. So a scope is basically I guess we could just say a container for a rule set, basically, um, which is
But
sort of abstract, but to the
Our rules, the rules we live by, and all the shenanigans we have in a society is not true because we're not living off of what it is.
but we live within God's scope.
Man has turned their back on God because if you understand what happened, a third of the angels turned their back on God and they mated with women, and they infused what was not supposed to be happening. They left their estate, and that's why there's been a great divide and a great battle since that time. This world has been uh, perverted, changed. Our DNAs have been changed. We're not living right.
Saka, was that a better explanation? I hope I was more clear. Um, so, Richie, do you believe that things are happening that are outside of God's scope?
What do you mean out of his scope? What do you mean?
Meaning,
He could crush us all in one word.
do you
We'd all be
do you
dead.
think do you think that there's anything going on in our world or universe or whatever that's out of his control, that's out of his purview?
It's only out of his control because he decided not yet to punish us.
But
We
but he could.
have the concept of punishment. How could you punish someone unless you know they did wrong? Therefore, for God to punish us, he must know all. He's omnipotent. He knows everything you do, everything you ever done, everything, every choice you made.
So are you saying
But you might say, well, how could that be? Well, if you got a computer expert, they can look at everything you ever looked at, right? There's a record if they wanted to. If somebody wanted to find out everything you've done on the computer, they can figure it out. And that's just on our little scale. Then from there, they can talk to everyone around you. What kind of person?
are you
I'm saying that's on a human level. So on God's level, but once again, though,
but are
not
you saying
immediately
that
judging right away.
wait, so are you saying because he hasn't judged us and he hasn't punished us that he isn't in control?
No, he is in control, but he gives us free will.
So we have free will. We have a scope where we can act, but the scope is a subset. It's within God's
But
larger scope.
our free will doesn't change the fact that punishment for what we do. If you're out there always killing people, eventually you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You're gonna be getting killed. If you're out there destroying yourself with drugs, you're gonna die. You can say, "Well, I made my own choices," but your choices have consequences, and
But but
eventually
do we agree?
you run out of time. You see, the time you have is the time to get right with what it is. Now, why he set it up this way, I don't know. Is this some great test for us as a like I said, as a test to see if we would choose to be good or to evil? I don't have an exact answer. I don't believe that was the original intent, though. The original intent, he said he made man and woman, and he told them to go and multiply. But when the fallen angels came here, they taught us about warfare. The fallen angels taught us about lies and deception. It even says the fallen angels taught women about makeup, and now men are wearing makeup. So do you see what I'm saying? Like, so the things, what the original intent? Because obviously, fallen angels are not God, but they're much more powerful than us. So what I'm saying is something happened, and that's why he destroyed the world. Why would he create the world to destroy it? He destroyed it to save it, to reset it, because the path we were on before the flood, before the deluge, you know. And I'll give you this right now. The symbol he gave after the flood that he would never destroy the world again by a flood was the rainbow. It's right there in the Bible, and it's also in many other cultures. And what's the symbol? And everything that was going on, what she was against, all these perversions. What's the symbol that the 451 community all use? The rainbow.
I thought it was Geo. Sorry, Geo shaved head.
But you see what I'm saying? No, so it's literally so this force is going on. There is a war. There's a spiritual war still happening, battling, and they're trying to mock God. Oh look, we're doing all these perversion things, and look, we're mocking you. You said you would never destroy us by flood. Okay, he's got other shit up his sleeve. I mean, so I'm just saying that's what I'm trying to say is as powerful I think I am as a man, or you think you are as a man, you have to have that humility to know that something created all this and know that you're not God. Once you think you're God, you're completely lost. You're lost. Because Hitler thought he was God, he could do what he wanted. How'd that end up? He got destroyed. Or any dictator. Any person trying to be God on earth, you know what I'm saying though? At a level of biblical proportions of destroying millions of people because you felt whatever the reason was. You see what I'm saying, though? How long does that last? How long can any kingdom last? Not that long. Why? Because that's not what it is. What happened to the Aztecs? What happened to the Romans? What do you think is going to happen to the Americans? Same thing, shit that always happens. Because it is what it is. Empires rise and fall because empires aren't natural. We were supposed to be here just to multiply. That's why sex is not a bad thing. We were here just to multiply and populate the earth and have a nice, simple existence. And that's why people aren't happy because what they're doing every day, the way we go to work. I'm not saying work is evil, but I'm saying but the unfulfilling shit people do every day and paying taxes and doing all this bullshit and and feeling like what is this all for? It's because we're not living life the right way. Because this world's been manipulated, because Satan runs this world. The Bible says Satan is the God of this world. Temporarily, because him and the third of the angels came here. So Satan tried to be like God, but he's not God. So everything he does is temporary. It doesn't last. It doesn't last. Because once again, God made the earth. The earth is still here. Where's the Roman Empire? Gone. Where's the British Empire? Gone. Right? Where's the you see what I'm saying though? These things come and go. They come and go. But what it is always will be what it is. And I can't stress that enough. And you can take that to the bank and cash it twice.
I don't think you can cash anything twice. It is what it is.
That's obviously a facetious statement, but that's saying how truthful it is. Imagine I'd like to cash this again. They're like, sir, we already gave you the money. Do it again. At that point, is that robbery? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. But then again, I guess if somebody has twins, you did take it to the bank and cash it twice because you only put it in once and you got two kids out of it. So I guess it can't happen, right? So
I guess
so are
sometimes you get
twins not
twice the amount.
natural?
Definitely not. I don't think they're part of it is what it is.
Hey, Corey Trevor, what's up? Our friend from England. Humility is a lost concept, overtaken by casual anger. Anger, calling the cars. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, but I think no matter what we're talking about, if we have a mutual respect to understand that we're all brothers here, well, then we can have that respect and we can all appreciate what we are, but also understand what we're not. We're not God, but we're His children. So act accordingly. Don't disrespect your parents. It says honor thy father and mother, and definitely honor who created us. To mock what you think. Could you imagine mocking your parents and they gave you everything? They given you clothes and food, and they protected you. They raised you from birth, and then you disrespect them. How much worse is then to mock who created everything? It is what it is. How could you look around and say, "We created"? I didn't create a mountain. Who created the mountains? Who created the ocean? Oh well. Come on, come on. If your parents created you, that's right there the clue. Someone had to create all of this. It didn't. We didn't just come from a fish. Oh, we crawled out of the ocean and now we're human. Oh yeah, there you go. King Triton. Yeah, Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid. Yeah, there you go. It's what it is. It's what it is.
Even if God exists, I still believe in evolution.
What do you mean
I still
evolution?
fish. What?
That we came from fish? How the
Not
fuck?
from fish, but
How the fuck did we come from anything but God? We came from. He made fish. Fish are not human. If we were fish, we wouldn't need boats. We
life evolved.
it evolved. So why is there still fish? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We evolved. Are we still using 8-track? If we evolved, whatever's new, the old is done. Are we still using, 8-track and record players? You say, oh, we still have them around here and there. Oh, but that's not what it is, right? Our concepts or trying to tap in and be like God always changes because it's not the truth. That's why our technology always has to improve. Why? Because we haven't peaked yet. Why? Because we're not God. So we're always trying to be like Him. We're trying to get smarter, but it's laughable. It says the foolishness of God is why the foolishness of God is still wiser than the wisdom of men. Us on our best day, we can't compete with the Creator. So don't try. It doesn't mean you still can't think or have concepts or try to build, but don't pride before the fall. To think that you made this universe or it revolves around you, I can't stress it enough. It doesn't. Because if you die or I die tonight, this shit will still keep going on. People will forget about Richie. They'll go hang out with the Vixen. They'll go hang out with Cigars Daily. Nobody cares because I'm not what it is. I'm just here as a friend. I hang out with you guys. I try to talk about some real shit. But when my time is done, my time is done.
ZZ Rat says physical evolution takes place over a span of time longer than we can experience. That's what I'm talking about. Sako says we were bacteria before we became fish and so on. It is what it is. I don't know if that's facetious or not at this point.
That's all false.
Um,
That's all false. Evolution is a lie. You could believe in a lie. You believe in Santa Claus?
do I believe in Santa
No, I
Claus?
might as well believe in Santa Claus too. It's more realistic for a man to give everyone a toy than to say, "PG, you came from a fish." So if Santa Claus is more real than evolution, get the fuck out of here. There you go. We came from fish. You're right. Little Mermaid.
Yeah, Sako says
Listen,
evolution makes more sense. Yeah, I'm
I
with
love
Sako.
Sacco. I disrespect that opinion. It is what it is. It's what it is.
But the thing is, in my opinion, the way I see things, if God exists,
Yeah.
God created life, and life evolves. We've learned that life evolves, and
Life evolved.
even if
Humans were always humans. Birds were always birds. Chickens were always chickens. Fish were always fish. Quorum cigars always suck. What it is. You, the whole reason why they create evolution was just to try to disprove God. It's mocking. Oh yeah, we decided what happened in the beginning.
but it doesn't disprove
What
God.
makes more sense? Us coming from out of fish or a creator saying this happened? Okay, you have the woods,
Us
right?
coming out of fish.
You hold on, you have a bunch of trees. Does a house just happen? No. A creator has to make plans and design a home and then chop the trees or buy the wood and build a house. Someone had to create it and say, we're going to make this happen. So if you just leave a pile of wood, if I send some 2x4s to your house and you leave them there, and over time, evolution, that wood's gonna fucking form into a fucking house with radiant heat and Wi-Fi and toilet bowls made of gold. Get the fuck out of here. Piles of shit lies. There's evolution.
Dude, That's actually it's so funny because that's always the argument I hear for evolution. So it's funny that you on the
It's,
opposite
I,
side
I,
of it. People
I'm
always say,
not trying
just
to
leave
argue.
leave piles of
I'm
wood
not even
and you'll
trying to
see.
argue with you. I feel bad for you. You still believe in Santa Claus. I feel bad for you.
But
Yeah, I
but
feel I
Richie,
feel bad that you came from fish. So you know what? Go back to being a fish. Go back in the ocean. See if they accept you. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back. I'm back. They'll eat you. They'll eat you. They'll eat you.
but
Time. I
we have
I don't have a record of time. There's the difference between human existence and how long the Earth has been here, and also how we gauge time is always changing. Because they'll say, "Oh, this is this old. Oh, well, we think it's this old. This is that old. We think this is that old." Everything that humans thinks is false. What we think. What we think. I'm not telling you what we think. I'm telling you what God did. Yeah, we're fish. There you go.
Geo Geo says seamen swim like fish. We're all fish. Geo, I would say it's a little bit more like a sea snake, but in that
Right.
we might actually all be sea snakes.
Right.
But I think it's a good point.
If that's the case, you're gonna put a rainbow trout inside of your girlfriend and you'll get a baby because we come from fish, right? You're just gonna swim up there and you go.
Sea snake, sea snake.
Yeah.
It's all the same. No,
It,
evolution is an extremely slow process
yeah.
where mutations in
Yeah.
the animal in DNA
Yeah.
have well you have different like I'm not an expert, I'm not a biologist, I'm not a scientist, but you have variation in the animals that happen and some of them survive and some of them don't. So occasionally a mutation happens that's beneficial, not beneficial period, but beneficial for the specific environment that it finds itself in. The scope basically. If
So
you find yourself with a
we
mutation that's valuable for the scope,
because we eat fish. Every time you eat a tuna sandwich, are you eating your grandfather because you came from fish? The fuck is that?
I don't even understand that argument.
Well, we came from fish. So every time you eat a fish taco, are you eating your brother? Oh, my brother didn't make it. He didn't evolve. Get the fuck out of here.
Like I don't know if we came from fish. I don't know because it's totally possible. Hold on. It's totally possible that we branched from a much more simple organism and fish went this way and mammals went this way and
I,
apes and then us.
but you enjoy whatever make believe you want to believe. That's good. That's good. No, no, hey.
But but I don't think that evolution conflicts with the existence of God. I don't see because all that had to happen was something created life.
Right.
If God created life, then this happens. If something other than God
It's a
doesn't matter. So it's not
pilot.
God that
So
dictates.
if we came from fish, where did the water and the mountains come from? Where did the earth come from? So we can inhabit it. Where did it come from? Did the fish make the fucking mountains?
I don't think there's any theory, scientific or religious, that says the fish made fountain, the mountains.
It's laughable. I laugh at those
I
concepts.
mean, that is a laughable theory. I agree. Corey Trevor says evolution is a nonsense. It's hard to accept that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son that shall not perish but have eternal life.
He's quoting from the Holy Bible. So it is what it is, man. Look. I'm not trying to hear it put you down. I'm just telling you, man. Hey, that's a pile of shit. Evolution's a pile of shit. It's not a truth. It's not a truthful. It's not a truthful thing.
But it's how life.
It's literally dog shit.
What about breeding dogs? We've seen a change in dogs since humans have been here.
That's like
How could that be possible?
that's like saying my breeding, just different races. It's like my sister married a Puerto Rican, so my nephew is half Italian, half Puerto Rican. So it's still a human. It's just it's still a human. You know what I'm saying though? It's not if somebody married a snake and they had a half child, half snake, then you let me know. Then you let me know. You understand the difference?
But do you not? But like, okay, like COVID has evolved. It's changed as it's gone. It's mutated. Viruses mutate.
COVID changed because the lies got caught. COVID was the biggest pile of shit. They had to keep changing the lies because their own lies didn't even make sense. Oh yeah, lies, 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 lies. They have to keep on changing their lies. 20 years ago, Iraq was a threat. Then Afghanistan. 40, 50 years ago, Vietnam was a threat. Why? Their lies change because it's not truth. It's not. It's what it is. It's not what it
But
is.
does
It's not what it is. It's not what it is because it wasn't truth.
how do you how do you explain related fossils for animals that exist today that are ancestors of the existing animals?
Say it again.
Fossils that are ancestors of animals that exist now, that are alive now, that are extinct, but they're
Extinct.
but they're related to the current animals. How does that make any sense?
They say some animals died off.
No, I'm saying like chickens came from raptors. Like how does so you have a raptor skeleton? How do you explain that?
I'm not trying to understand what you're trying to say. You want me to explain to you why a chicken is allegedly like a dinosaur? I've never,
No,
I've never seen a dinosaur, so I'm not sure exactly what you want me to say about this.
what I'm saying is there are fossils through time showing the change of these animals.
Mm.
So where does that come from if not evolution? Is is
So,
is evolution
so
not
have
the same
so
explanation in that situation?
you have humans changed? So we had gills,
Humans change from monkeys. You don't think humans look like monkeys? Like pretty close?
but we still have monkeys. So some of the monkeys got tired. They organized. They made a union, and they want to wear clothes and take a shower.
But you have different branches from any tree of evolution. Like you don't it's not if you have so let's say you had a monkey. I don't know how this I'm not saying this is how it happened, but I'm saying for instance, you have a group of monkeys
Right.
and one monkey evolves and let's say it becomes sentient like a human and it goes, "Holy shit, I got to get out of here."
Yeah.
Like these monkeys are crazy and then has children and that becomes humans.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean the other monkeys go extinct. It just means that it branches off and has another.
Um, I thought you're saying we came from fish. Now it's monkeys.
No, I never said we came from fish. You
No,
said we
you
came from
said that.
fish. Or you said we no, you said we didn't come from fish. I
Oh no,
never said we came from fish.
I know
I
we didn't
said
come
we
from
came
fish, but you said tadpoles and this and fish, and now it's monkeys.
no, I didn't say that. I said that we came from more simple organisms and that we now I'm saying we came from monkeys later in the chain, which came from simpler organisms.
Look, I think you kind of have it in your mind what you don't think you know, as opposed to trusting and believing that God made the world. If you want to go on this endless journey, you're not going to find any facts. You're not going to find any truth.
But
We,
but what I'm saying
we just evolved here. It just happened.
let's 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 say for sake of argument
Mm.
God exists, okay? Let's say that for number 1. And then number 2, God creates a life, okay? We'll agree that far. Now what I'm saying is why doesn't it make sense that simple life evolves, changes and eventually becomes humans? That's what I'm saying.
Because in the beginning, God made man and woman. He made men and woman in the beginning. He didn't make tadpoles. He had the animals came first. He made the earth. He had the beast on the earth. Everything was here. And then he put the humans in last. And then he rested. The only change that happened to humankind is when the fallen angels came here. And then they mated with the women and they created giants. And it's a proven fact that we had giants. And it says the giants were before the flood and after. The giants were not supposed to exist because we couldn't see.
So what about dinosaurs?
What do you mean? I don't have an answer on dinosaurs.
But dinosaurs exist as bones.
I don't have a reason to say they exist or don't exist or how it's relevant. It's something you reach for straws. Fish, monkey, not dinosaur. I don't have an answer for that.
But what I'm
I,
saying is
for that. I don't have an answer.
what
It
I'm
doesn't
saying is
say we didn't come from monkeys. I mean, like I said, eight track doesn't exist no more. You know, cars don't even have CD players anymore. All right, I'm not saying they didn't exist. I'm not saying they do exist. Before you,
but
before you still fucking dinosaurs in Antarctica. You know, there's still parts of Antarctica they won't let you go see. There's a whole realm down there. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. Before you know, the fucking dinosaurs wouldn't fit in the fucking ark. That was it. Can't bring that shit on. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer.
what I'm saying is look at fossils. You look at things that did exist based on what we can test best to our knowledge,
Mhm.
which I'm not saying wasn't created by God, but I'm saying we're testing and this is the information we get. It seems to me that the simplest explanation is that evolution exists because of the way that things evolve from different other things, because of the way that simple things became more complex, or like dinosaurs got smaller because the big ones died off, or that humans branched from monkeys and went from there. I still think that's the most simple answer, regardless of who made it.
I'm not going to hear speculate about dinosaurs and how they existed, how they didn't exist, or where they went, or if they still exist. I don't have an answer for that. But all I can tell you is dinosaurs didn't create this world if they existed. And they didn't destroy this world if they existed. Whatever was put on this world after God created it cannot destroy it. So it's irrelevant. I mean, the American buffaloes almost exist because we shot them all. You know,
Let
buffaloes
me
used
ask
to
you
be.
this.
We shot all the American buffaloes.
Yeah, that's a example of a animal not being adapted well to its environment because I guess it was big and delicious looking and people had guns, so wrong place, wrong time.
It is. It's what it is.
Um, okay, here's my question. Dinosaur fossils are generally pretty well accepted, and unless they were invented by humans, I've seen them in museums, so
But
whatever.
in the
I
museum, I'm not trying to say they don't,
myself,
but I believe in the museums they're only models. Did you hear about that? They're not the true. They're speculation what they would look like. Like they'll take one bone and they'll build the rest.
um, it depends. It depends on the. I
Like
think often
is
find
what
shards of stuff.
I'm taking great liberty. That's all I'm saying.
I I think that that is the case more for some more obscure dinosaurs than others. I think some dinosaurs have pretty well.
It is what it is. What happened? What happened to our dear friend? Evolution? Did he go to become a mermaid? Is he a buffalo? A snake? Where did he go? That's life. That's what it is, is. When God says it's time, it's time. I can't stress that enough. No man knows the hour. You don't know when he's going to turn the lights off like that. I can't stress it enough. It is what it is. Maybe the dinosaurs got him. Maybe it was Santa Claus. Maybe it was a tadpole, right? Maybe it was a tuna fish, right? I think PG evolved. He went to a higher plane, right? Is that what happened? Is that what it is? It's a lot of steak. That's a lot of steak. It is what it is. Well, on that note, I'm gonna go to sleep. And it's really not that I want to go to sleep, but the human body needs rest. Because that's what it is. I don't decide on sleep, but we need sleep. That's the truth. Everything needs rest. Everything has a season. What happened? You got your power back?
I think God said enough of your fucking questions, PG.
Yeah, I think it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Though he smacked you down, and I'm about to go to sleep right now. But it was a great conversation, and if anything, nice having a intellectual conversation with respect. Um, but it is what it is. I'm going to go evolve into sleep now, right? You know, is that evolution? I need to sleep because I think I'm turning into a frog tomorrow. You know?
I think, yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm assigned yet, but it could be anything.
Yeah. Are you going to be a cat tomorrow or a furry?
I don't know. I wake up and I find out. You know what I mean? It's God's will how I evolve each day.
Well, you let me know how that works out. We know how it works.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, let me. So let me just say really briefly. My question was just going to be basically how, like, if you believe that dinosaurs existed, how would you explain? And do you? And if you wouldn't explain it, do you not care? That's all.
Whether they exist or not is irrelevant to me. I'm not sure exactly what you want me to explain.
No, that was my question. If it's relevant to you, you're saying it's not relevant to you.
Well, I'm not saying
I guess.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying relevant or irrelevant. If you're trying to say the basis of dinosaurs existing disproves that God created the world somehow, I
No,
don't
that's
understand.
not what I'm saying.
I'm not,
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to understand. It seems to me that the way that
I
and
exist on the belief on God on Jurassic Park.
not nothing to do with the movie. Um, yeah, I'm gonna let Richie sleep. I'm not. Look, we don't have to talk about this. I just want to bring up the idea. Okay, my idea was basically
Yeah.
also Sako used scope, so he's trolling you the whole time. But
Is
yeah, nobody cares. My point was just this: if you believe in the animals that people claim existed, and evolution is an explanation for it, and also a very convenient explanation, I'm wondering what the alternate explanation would be. And we don't have to get into that, but that's just what I was going to ask.
that the dinosaurs evolved or they ceased existing? Because that's also possible. There's things that, let's say, used to exist that didn't evolve. They just don't exist no more. They could have been killed off, you're saying, or they could have died in the Great Flood. I don't have an answer for that.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know what was all destroyed in the Great Flood. I know whatever that wasn't on the ark, whatever animals that they didn't bring two by two to reproduce. I don't have an answer. Short of that, I don't have an answer. I'm not God, and I wasn't there for it to happen. But I know a great flood happened and destroyed the world, and that's not just the Bible. All great religions across the world talk about a great flood that destroyed the world. So it is what it is. I don't have an answer on that.
I would have follow ups, but I think we've run out of time. So I just want to thank you for the conversation. I really appreciate it. It was good.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. Look, I like Jurassic Park. I'm not. You know, eh, you know, I guess maybe the Book of Moses we see more exciting with velociraptors. Attacking the Egyptians. Maybe I don't know. I mean, uh,
Yeah.
let my people go. They got a T Rex. I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like Bruce Almighty. So, you know what I mean?
Well, it is what it is. You know,
It is what it is.
it is what it is. Um, I don't have an answer. But if you read about um, there's books in the Bible talking about when the fallen angels came here. It says they were mating with strange flesh and with stuff like mermaids or other weird shit or half men, half horse, that kind of shit. I don't have an answer for you on that, but there's maybe
Hmm.
that there was things being made that weren't supposed to be made because like God created things, but then when the fallen angels came here, if their children were giants with the fallen angels, if an angel fucked a horse, I mean, you know, I'm just saying, no, like weird shit gonna happen. It literally talks about in the book of First John, talking about, and they were lusting after strange flesh. Now, unless he's talking about eating ass, straight, because regular flesh is like man and woman, right? Strange flesh is like, you know what I'm saying though? Like,
It's too bad. It's too bad Gio went to sleep because I think he's the only one of us who'd really have a good idea.
when I read the Bible, it's not like I'm just like being a Bible thumper trying to tell people they're going to hell. I try to do research. So, okay, for example, if you saw a man and a woman having sex in a park, you wouldn't say that's strange. You'd be like, you shouldn't be doing this. Go get a room. But if you saw a guy fucking a snake, you'd be like, that's strange. This is shit. That's strange flesh. You know what I'm saying, though? So, what?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if a human does it, nothing's going to happen but weird disease and regret. But if these fallen angels were mating with weird shit, it makes sense for the Hercules, you know, the half horse, half man, and it makes sense for mermaids. If they were fucking fish and you had a half man, half fish, that makes sense. It is what it is. I don't have an answer on that, but it literally says they were lusting with strange flesh. Um, yeah. It literally, the Bible was written by man. What, as they said, is not true. The Bible was written by men inspired by God. Everything in it is still true. It's make believe. Everything that we write here, or your science book, your phone book, every year's got to get updated. It's a pile of shit, right? Right. They literally said COVID's over. Everything man writes, without God is a pile of shit. So well, that's right. Listen, you guys believe what you want to believe. If you think we came here by fucking monkeys, riding fucking dinosaurs, evolving from tadpoles, and we created this world and it's a bunch of, whatever, make believe what you want. I'm not going to change the way I feel about you, or disrespect anyone here like, oh, go fuck yourself. But, I mean, you do what you want to do with it, you know?
Rich, let me say on the opposite side of that,
Yeah.
I don't know if God exists,
Mm.
and I'm not against God existing, and I'm not like for God existing because, like you said, it is what it is. It doesn't matter what I think, right? But what I do think is, regardless of God's existence, there are things that we can test. There's science that we can do that's inside of our scope that we can work on, and that's all.
I
So
know it's science, but you can't tell me that science doesn't get manipulated to whoever the powers that be. They can prove whatever they want to try to prove. But then over time, it gets falsified because it's not true anymore. They,
I don't know if you've met a lot of scientists, but scientists are just about the most trustworthy people I've met. That's what I can say. They are very meticulous. Like,
else, the scientists themselves, but the world governments don't have agendas. You,
sure,
every pharmaceutical requires scientists. They lie all the time. And you know, see these commercials. Oh, if you got sick or someone died, or all these side effects. Oh, we didn't know what was going to happen. Oh, please. Yeah, because when they tested on the lab rats, anything they didn't want, they made sure, well, we're not going to record it like.
I think there are examples of that. But what's nice about science is that it follows a strict set of now I don't know it exactly, but rules and guidelines. There are rules to science, which means that other people can challenge. If someone says something like, "Oh yeah, this is good for you," everybody's like, "I don't think that's true." You can directly test that, and if enough people test it independently, then that becomes the prevailing
I understand what
idea.
the concept of science, But if science was always true, science would always be changing. What we
What?
knew years ago has changed to now, right? Because we learn more, right? So I mean,
Sure.
so when you're saying science can test stuff, what does it
Well,
all be all after that test?
no, but what I'm saying is that I think that we should continuously aim to become more knowledgeable through science. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not against people getting education. No one's saying that. I don't want to go back to the 1800s and not have running water. You
Right.
know, say that. Although
Dude, and I bet
those
the
those
cigar is probably horrible burn.
yeah,
Sorry,
but
go ahead.
those concepts are still not natural for things to happen. But we like to have the luxuries of this world. Is what it is.
Yeah.
But see,
All right.
going
Yeah.
back to the Bible, if the Bible was a pile of shit and not real, uh, are you kidding me? So the flood didn't happen. Moses didn't exist. Jesus Christ didn't exist. It was make believe, literally make believe, all throughout the world. Is that not just in the Bible? Christ was existed. Now, whether you believe he existed, or believe that he existed, or believe that he was the Son of God, that's your opinion. But Jesus Christ was the Son of God, and he was born here on this earth. And if everything you believe is just nothing matters, whatever, then do what you want. Do what you want. If you think we're in this some make believe realm and the sun and the moon, the stars all just happened, it's all just a pile of shit. Okay, is what it is. We do what you
But
want. If you think that
again, I mean,
this
yeah.
world, if you literally the world is fucking evil. It says right there, Satan's running this world. Him and his angels. If you don't think there's a supernatural side, if you don't believe there's a supernatural side to our reality, I don't know how you're missing that. You look at all the shit,
So,
and how evil this place is. You know?
Sacco says, if the humanity dies altogether, who is going to mention the manner of the god? Yeah, fair enough.
Oh,
Look,
are you saying you're only a physical being? You don't have a spirit? I mean, you could believe that. It doesn't change what it is. You literally think that you're only physical, that you don't have a soul, you don't have a spirit. If
are you
you,
asking me
you don't
or
have,
Sacco?
I'm just saying though. I mean, listen, I love soccer. It is what it is. You don't think you have a spirit? You think you're just a pile of flesh and bones? That's it. If you didn't have a spirit, well, how
Here's what I think.
you think, or it is what it is.
Well, no. Here's what I believe, and what I believe is an attempt to find out what is over time, right? Our belief system is an attempt to slowly get closer to an accurate representation of what's going on, which we can never be fully accurate in a representation because our minds are too fucking puny. We're too stupid, but you get the idea. Um, what I think is, I had an experience where I lost a good friend of mine because they were religious
Mm,
in a certain way that did not allow me to be in their life.
mm,
And it wasn't because I said anything. I wasn't like, I don't agree. You know what I mean? It wasn't that I said they can't be religious. Obviously, like I'm not saying any of that. And I didn't say any of that. But that's how they interpreted it. This is what I mean to say. It's not that the religion said it per se, but it was how they interpreted it. And I feel that religion can be dangerous because you can say, well, it's here in this book, and this is how I'm interpreting it. Therefore, it's the truth, period. And that's it. And what concerns me is when people can't cross bridges. So, for me, maybe God exists, maybe God doesn't exist. I don't really feel that there's any need to argue that necessarily with a person, because and what I mean by that is, rather, I don't need to enforce that or convince somebody of that because I don't think that that's the way that we should connect as people. I think that we should connect as people in ways that we can prove in our physical space and come to an agreement on so that everybody can be in a fair situation and no one can say, well, it's in this book, I hate you. Or that's what scares me, if that makes sense.
No, I can understand you what you're saying with that. Well, you're saying you're only concerned about the physical world.
No, what I'm saying is well, I'm I'm concerned about people's belief of the physical world and coming to agreements on that. I think if you want to believe that God exists or God doesn't exist or God exists in a specific way or whatever, as long as you don't impose on me about it, that's your right to do so. You know
But
what I mean? It's none of
that
my business.
goes both ways. You're telling me where they force people in school to believe in evolution, that forces them to disbelieve what they believe. Do you see what I'm saying, though? Because you're
Well,
talking
I get, yeah.
literally, people talk
Go
about it
ahead.
like it's literally fucking fact, and it's a pile of shit. Make believe. Change up fish, monkeys, whatever the fuck, snakes. Yeah, sure. The Big Bang, just particles got together from nowhere, and then fish happened. Like, sure, okay. I mean, you believe what you want, right? Everyone here believe what you want. Is what it is. I guess at the end of the day, you'll just see at the end. That's the only. That's at the end of the day. I'll just see you on the other side, and
That's the ultimate is what it is. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
hey, I'll see you at the end. And at the end, you can go hang out with tadpoles and the monkeys and the dinosaurs and whatever you thought about. And I'll be with God. That's it. I can't stress it enough. I mean, at the end of the
I
day,
think
if you believe you came from fish and monkeys or whatever, or there's no spirit world, it is what it is. It is what it is.
here's
Oh, Sacco, I mean, listen, that's your opinion, man. And that's if that's what you want to believe, well, I'll pray for you. I mean,
Richie, it's like
that's a cold thing to think that you're just a pile of bones, that you don't have
it's like
fear.
you said. Oh, sorry. Like you said about religion,
I really
or sorry about
what anyone says.
no,
You,
you were
you
saying about science.
right? Just like you're going to believe, you'll believe. You're not going to tell me God doesn't exist.
No, no,
You,
that's not what I'm saying.
no, no,
That's not what I'm saying.
I'm telling you. I'm just saying in general to everyone.
Okay.
I mean, you guys believe whatever you want. Or most people, it sounds like they don't believe in anything. So okay, do what you got to do. You know,
Remember what you were saying about science that we always have to change it because we're learning more stuff?
because you don't have the mind of God because you don't know everything.
Right. Right, exactly. And we don't know everything, and that's the point of science. We're trying to learn more, right? What I'm
Well,
trying to say is
because we're trying to
what
be like. We're trying to be like our creator. We'll never be like him. We could try.
well,
It's laughable. It's laughable.
there there are also ideas that when we ate from the tree of knowledge that our goal then becomes to reach through knowledge that enlightened state to become back and come pure again in the all the way around. Anyway, that's one idea. Anyway, that's a religious idea. That's not a scientific idea,
No, I
obviously.
can say with that. Yeah.
But so what I mean to say is,
Did you ever listen to the Book of Enoch?
I may have. It's been a while.
You might
I
want to
don't listen
listen.
a lot.
To the Book of Enoch. That goes further into that. It goes further into the story in the beginning. But I'm not going to go into now here because
Sure, sure. Uh, here's what I mean to say though. Science is always changing, right? Because we don't know everything. I
yeah.
think we can agree with that. What I'm saying is, I think that if the information given to us by religion is real, eventually science and religion will coincide.
See, the thing
Not
is, if you're going back a long time ago, science and religion were almost one and the same. If you look at, what I'm saying, no, they literally, it's like alchemy and everything else. You look at the Egyptians, those
Mhm,
everything they built and everything. It's almost like what's the word I'm looking for? The esoteric, where literally it's almost like the priests were the scientists. You know what I'm saying? Though, where it was combined somehow.
mhm.
Back then, they were physical and spiritual at the same time. When now we separated science, we separated the physical world and science and the spiritual world. You know what I'm saying? Though it's almost like now scientists are the physical world, priests in a sense, and the spiritual world you have religion. It's separated.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
I think, but I do think eventually, I mean, look, I don't want anybody to be taught anything that's not true and be told it's a fact, right? So that could go for science, that could go for anything. So I take your point there. But I do think it's important that we teach what our best guess is at the time based on what we've been able to prove across everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody can agree on in terms of, you know what I mean?
Remember
It's not specific to a.
the pipe dream. You could put 100 people in a restaurant; they're not going to choose the same thing. People are going to disagree, and that's the nature of things. And that I'm,
and
I'm,
and
I'm not here to argue with people. You're going to live. You're going to believe whatever you want to believe. You're going to live your life the way you want to live. Is what- is what-
and I that's what I think
And look,
part
if
of the.
you live your life without the belief in God, go ahead. That's just to me. That's a colder existence. That you think you're nothing. That you think you're literally a pile of shit coming from monkeys. Do you want to believe that? You're already in hell. You know, darkness is just the absence of light. So if you want to believe that, you're nothing, then you're nothing. You know,
Sure, that's
you do what you want.
and that's the same. That's a choice, right? That's what I'm saying. It doesn't if it as long as it
Well,
doesn't affect me, if somebody wants to believe that's okay.
I guess you're not important, right? We're more than just to say you're only physical. Like when you have a child, as a parent, that child is so important. That's a pile of shit. So if you have a child, you look at your child as just she's just a meat bag. Bullshit. I have a child, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for my kid. And if somebody ever tried to hurt my kid, watch the fuck out. So we're just like chickens. No, we
I,
we
well,
we we have power. We have a soul that you can't believe. Our decisions.
you can you can say this, but I'm not arguing against you. I'm not saying
No,
that
I'm
you're
just
wrong.
saying. So we're not just a physical being.
So what I wanted to say, which is parallel to this, because
You
yeah,
would look at another human just as a chicken, just a physical being. Right? You would look at your chicken as the same value as your child. And I'm telling you, there's a difference. One day, if you have a child, you'll understand about creation, about how beautiful it is, and how sacred it is. Right? So you're gonna look at your child and go, "Oh, it's just a pile of bones." Horse shit. I get as we get older, we get demented, we get like nothing fucking matters, and I get that because the society we live in is so fucking evil. But I'm telling you, when you have a child, you'll see how important you are and how important the child is and how fucking sacred it all is. And to say that it's nothing, I think you're missing out on the greatest gift. How sacred life
and
really is.
and and I'm not arguing for or against that. And my relationship with God is my relationship with God, and your relationship with God is your relationship with God. And I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I'm not, um,
Yeah, the
and I respect that. Yeah,
animals protect yeah, the animal will protect their animal. But if you kill one of the animals, that's the end of that. A human will follow you around the world to find out to get revenge. There's a difference. There's a big difference. We're a lot smarter than fucking animals. I can't stress it.
I, I'd love to just say how much I'm loving these. I'm loving these comments. Sacco said, "Did God create other animals? Do animals have afterlife? How are we different from other animals?
Yeah,
We eat, we sleep, we shit, we fuck, we have babies. We are territorial, so
yeah,
are animals."
yeah.
Sacco says, "Sense is sense is evolving, not changing." I don't know what that. I don't know if that's a typo or I'm just not reading that right.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and
Look,
then ZC Rot says, "We're animated meat bags."
yeah,
Um,
that's it.
Caleb said, "We have all have to answer in the end."
Yeah.
But then skipping down a little bit, Joshua, in response to Sacco's, personally, I think good points about um, humans being animals. Joshua says, "Let me know when you see a lion smoke an Opus X."
It is what it is. It is what it is. Hey, look, it is what it is. Look, it is what
But
it is. It
yeah,
is what it is. It is what it is.
I
Yeah,
yeah, Liz.
animals living in houses and driving cars. You know what I'm saying though? Or
Here,
charity.
what I wanted to say
We
earlier was,
have dominion over the animals. That's why you see, the man riding the horse, not the horse riding the man, unless it's some guy in strange meat. He wants strange flesh, and he wants a horse fucking him. You know, saying no. It is what it is.
What is that? What is that? Cheeks clapped and clip clopped.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
clip clop clap.
Yeah. You use protection, he gets a horseshoe. Oh yeah. It's what it,
um,
it is what
I
it
was
is.
gonna say, I think the beauty of science, or one of the beautiful things about science, is that it comes from something that people agree upon, and many people have to be able to recreate and agree upon, and it's a logical process. Therefore, it has to be built up from tenets, and if you agree to those tenets, you have to do it in a certain way. So, what I'm saying with that is, I think it's important to teach people our best methods of logic and science and all that, but not just for the knowledge, but for the intellectual pursuit and to become better thinkers. But I think it's very important that we try to increase our understanding as much as we can in a way that people can agree upon all across the board, and nobody can ever say, no, actually, there's one thing that even though you don't believe it, I believe it, and I'm going to kill you. That's what I don't like. That's very scary to me. I mean,
Yeah,
there are other things I don't like, but that, yeah.
people kill each other over Nikes. I mean, I don't give a shit about that. No, I don't. I don't worry about nobody getting along. Nobody wants to get along. People kill each other and fight over the stupidest things. It's all stupid, right? You know what I'm saying? Though, since Cain and Abel, people have been killing each other. It is what it is. People acting out on their rage, people acting on their ego, people getting jealous, people bearing false witness, people lying, people stealing, people killing to hide their lying, stealing, people killing because they took another man's wife and they want to hide it or they want to marry her, so they kill her. Mankind has been committing atrocities since the fall of man. It is what it is. It is what it is.
ZZ Rot says it's a real knife fight out there. Yeah.
It is what it is. There's no winning here. There's no. I'm not trying to win anything.
We're
If you
just discussing it. I think.
No, if you listen, you want to believe you're a pile of meat. I'll see you on the other side. You'll be in the meat section. I'll be with the creator. You'll be in Boar's Head. You'll be with the pile of meat. It's fine. I'll be smoking opus X with God. I'll be chilling out with him. All right, it is what it is.
You
Do
wouldn't grill Geo, would you?
what's that?
I said you wouldn't grill Geo, would you?
What it is. I don't know. I don't know. He was accepted our Father, so it is what it is. It is
Yeah,
what it is.
who knows?
Do what you got to do. You do what you got to do. I'm going to go to sleep. And
All right.
for all the fish, tadpoles, dinosaurs, meat bags, everyone out there, buffaloes, fucking Sacco, yeah, Sacco. We're gonna let the dinosaurs live in your house, Sacco, because we're all the same, right? We're all the same, yeah. Humans and buffalo, the same, the same. We're the same. Look, you got the buffalo.
Again, again, not the argument that we're the same, but yeah, continue.
No, but really, no, we're the same. If we're all evolving, we're just evolving, right? Right. Just like if you put Cameroon tobacco and a Connecticut broadleaf, they mesh together in the aging room. I'm gonna go sit next to a buffalo, and I'm gonna become a buffalo. I'm gonna, and Gio's gonna get some strange flesh. He's gonna go clap some cheeks with I don't know a chicken, and then here's what it is. And then they'll have some little chicken nuggets running around. Have to pay child support. Here's what it is.
Yeah, Sako says this conversation has been going on for ages, long enough to evolve. Probably, it is what it is, right?
What if we evolved? What if we evolved? You know, say that Gio's fucking a chicken. Is what it is. It's, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. What do you want to become next? What do you want to be? You want to be a pterodactyl? You want to be an eagle? You're gonna be an eagle. Watch out! You're gonna eat a fish? That's your cousin. Don't do that. Dude, this was some good conversation, man. It was good. It just fucking. And you notice at the end, everyone wants to go to bed, so everyone's like, "Fuck you." You know what I'm saying?
Joshua says, "What was the latest animal to evolve?" Joshua, I think it was Geo. He's become a new type of human that can have both a bad haircut and be conceited about it. So
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing too. So if we're doing evolution, what's evolving now? What's changing? I'll tell you what's changing. 451, right? But see, that's not real evolution because see, you have to get surgery for that. The fish didn't get surgery. Oh, make me a chicken. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to. We're gonna take your gills out, and we're gonna put them down there, and we're gonna no. The gills became the rooster's little flap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's claiming that's evolution, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I don't think 451 is not evolution. That's it's a sin. That's what it is. It's what it is. You do what you want. I mean, you do what you want, but I mean, I'm not getting an adjustable vagina. Okay.
Jo- Joshua Joshua with the last word says fifth cousin. Fair enough.
The girls with the vajayjay. All right, I'm.
Big Gil Vijay.
There's one thing I can agree on. It's a stupid place, and everyone go fuck themselves. All right, that's it.
Yeah, fair enough.
And
All
any
right, Richie.
as a fish, as a tadpole, as a
Yeah.
snake.
I'm gonna go get busy fucking myself, and then I'm gonna turn into a fish.
Oh, so you evolving? Are you trying to evolve? You're like, oh, maybe if I rub it together and then I'll evolve. You know, are you gonna evolve? How's that evolving?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Do it fast enough, you turn into a bonfire.
yeah. Evolve. Yeah, we evolve. Yeah. Oh no, COVID's over today. Do you know today's the last day of COVID? They said that on the World Health. May 11th is the official recognized day. I got the email today at work. It's over, they said. It's over. Wow. Well, what about AIDS? Oh, there's still AIDS. There's still AIDS. Oh, AIDS is still here. So literally,
That's funny. Biggest
what
evolution is humans before and after COVID. That's a good point, Sako. Joshua says he's a buffalo, and that explains how he can scrub his balls in and out of the shower. I
man,
didn't get that at first, but now I get it.
there you go. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. That's just. He said, "You never see a fucking." What did he say? You never see a tiger smoking open sex. He's yeah, it's a stupid show. I hate this place. I'm here. I hate this place. I hate this place so
I'm
much.
sorry, Richie. I'm sorry. I'm
I'm
sorry.
You know what? Now I want to. God forgive me. I want to hope. I want to evolve so I don't have to do this show. I want to become a. I want to become a chicken. Grow up on a farm, and then I want to become a chicken, and then that's it. I'm tired of this show. You know?
I think you've actually moved into a different religion. I think now you're thinking about reincarnation.
Oh yeah. Well, in reality, reincarnation is just your next life, which is eternal life. Is That's a whole nother topic. There's some things that they cross streams with that, where there's elements of Christianity within other things that people are talking about the same things, but they argue about it. But even the Native Americans talked about giants, and then when the people went there, like, no, but our giants were different. It's like, no, you're both talking about the same thing. Because remember when the flood happened, the whole world flooded out, so there was giants everywhere. So but that's an ego thing where people are like, no, we're going to teach you about this. And like, no, we knew about that too because there was these like 20-foot tall guys and they were killing everyone, like so that's an ancient Indian stuff. The ancient Indians knew about giants. There were giants everywhere. Can you imagine a 20-foot, 40-foot guy? What are you going to do? What are you going to do against a 40-foot tall person? What the fuck are you going to do?
I'm punching nuts.
Yeah,
I'm going all nuts. I'm punching nuts, right above my head, man.
you can't reach the nuts. You can't reach the nuts. Is what it is. You know, it is what you can't reach the nuts. You can't,
You get the spear. You're even short with the spear, trying to get up there.
yeah, oh god, you just run underneath it with a bow and arrow. Like, it's just,
You got a springboard. Jump on the springboard.
yeah. That must have been the shittiest time on earth for like regular sized men to have to fight giants because you're so fucked. Like, okay, maybe you could kill a giant, but it's like maybe 100 on 1. But the first 99 guys are dead. Like, you don't have a chance. You know what I'm saying? No, like,
That's where when they invented weight classes. I think
literally, like, you know what I'm saying? Though, I think the guys
they
that
said they said no more of this shit
yeah,
last
I think
time.
guys that went up first were guys that just had ugly wives. So like, let me go. I got it. Like literally,
He said I'm gonna be a chicken next.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be a chicken next.
The guys that hated their wives went to the front of the lines. They tried to fight the giant first. They fucking rode it. Yeah, but guys married to the vixen, they're in the back of the line. You're the other guy that holds the head at the end when they chop the head off. He didn't fight the giant. He's like, yeah, I did. I did. It is what it is. And that was a brutal time, man. That
Yeah.
after they killed each other, they lopped heads off as proof of life. Like, yeah, I did it. Look, I did it. Like, we need some. Oh shit, that's the guy. That's the guy. He says, like,
Dude, are you kidding me? Imagine holding a 40-foot giant. It'd be
well, you need a,
much heavier.
need a,
You can't.
need a
I mean,
couple of
you're
guys. Yeah, you need a couple. Yeah,
lugging
no,
it.
that's giants are real, man. It's a crazy thing. Um,
Yeah. You got to stick one hand in each eye, lift it. You got to get in the orbital
that's
socket, really get a lift on it.
is what it is. Yeah, is what it is. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys, listen. You guys are a bunch of meat bags. You guys are meat sacks. Okay, okay. Fucking, but I have to make a separate dome just for meat sacks. Like I'm gonna have a dome. I'm gonna have a dome for you evolution motherfuckers. You put fish and meat sacks and strange flesh. You know, and
Secular out of order.
exactly. Like, listen, I don't know. Here's what it is. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. All right.
All right, man. Hey, it was a great last show. See you tomorrow.
I hate this fucking place. I really, guys, I can't do
that's
it.
that's Sacco's joke. Yeah.
I can't do this shit. Yeah, we covered everything tonight. How do we go from it is what it is to fucking dinosaurs to fucking you're sticking a tuna fish up someone's vagina? Dude, everything fucking. This was the dumbest episode of all. I mean, it was great, but like it just transitioned like Geo, like a 451, just transitioned. Geo comes for like 2 seconds. He does nothing. He brings nothing to the show. I love how he just leaves without saying goodbye. He comes in. He's like, "Yeah, fuck you, PG. You want a haircut?" And then he just goes.
Comes in, stirs the pot, leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Sacco. We're gonna pray for you, Sacco. Sacco, you're not a meatbag. Sacco, I'm gonna pray for you, for your soul. Okay, Sacco. All right. Get right with God.
He's not just a meat bag. He's a meat bag with the Gucci.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Sacco.
I'm kidding.
What do you don't need the gooch. You don't need the gooch, right? You're just a meat bag, right? Nothing's important, right? You don't throw pearls to swine. Come on. All right. I'll talk
All
to you.
right. Yeah, Sacco, ZZ Rot, Joshua, shout out.
Yeah.
Fellas, have a good night.
Here's what it is.
That's where the lounge needs to go. It needs to touch on the final topic, which is actually the cigars that you're reviewing.
Well, we can only talk about that so much. Here's what it is.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. No, you're not kidding. I mean, you should go make your own fucking lounge and see if guys hang out for 4 hours. Nobody. Well, Sacco, who are you praying to, Sacco? Right? I mean, Sacco, you're praying to a meat. You're praying to
I
Josh.
think he's just rubbing his hands together to stay warm, dude.
No, he's praying to Joshua's balls in and out of the shower. You know what I'm saying, though? Yeah. He's like a priest. He's like getting his balls in and out of the. It's like a slinky. He's just. It's what it is. I hate this place. I'll see you later.
Take care, Sacco.
Peace.
Me too. Bye.